Um, okay, so we are going to talk about, of course, the Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie case. And there has been so much going on in the last couple days, unfolding, that I can't even keep up. And you guys know me. It's like I like to dig down to the bottom of the rabbit hole to like get all the information. And I've been scattered because like this is happening and that's happening. And he said, she said. And the funny thing is usually it's YouTubers and Facebook people, just regular people and Twitter and TikTok arguing with each other. And it's like the lawyer, the police, it's like they're all arguing and pointing fingers and playing the blame game. So this has been quite hard to follow, but interesting. So as we're going on, it's like if I have a fact or two wrong, somebody type the right answer in because I've been getting like names and dates and times mixed up. But the I don't know how much everyone's followed, but the attorney and the cops are fighting back and forth, and people on Twitter are calling for the police chief and that Josh Taylor, that's the public information officer, to resign. And they're saying, how could you say that you saw him and then he wasn't even there? And then the cops came forward and said, oh, we saw the mom the day she brought the Mustang back. She was wearing a baseball hat. So we thought that was Brian, because the parents are, through their lawyer, complaining about you said you knew where our kid was and you made a mistake. But my question there, if they want to play the blame game, is it's like when the cop went on TV that day and said he knew where your son was, if your son wasn't at home and you didn't know where your son was, maybe wait 2 or 3 days, but eventually, a month went by. Wouldn't you be calling the cops saying, you said my kid is, you know where he is, where is he? So it's like they never called the police and they were uncooperative. It's not like they called saying, hey, I don't know where my kid is and you said you did. So anyways, I'm going to quit babbling for a minute and let Matt babble for a couple minutes, and then we'll dig into the meat of this. um, what's your thoughts on what's gone on in the last couple days? Because we're going to get to talking about all our dead bodies in a minute, but I just wanted to know what you thought about all these updates that have been rolling in today.
Well, I really haven't been paying attention to all the updates that have been happening today. But as far as the, all these other people that are turning up dead and their remains
Yeah.
being found,
We're
obviously
gonna get
something's going
into
on.
that in a minute. Yeah, we're gonna get into that in a minute. There's a couple other things. I'm kind of stalling before we get into that in case more people show up. I know, Shay, the parents have shown no emotion. Gabby's parents put a statement out through their lawyer. It was today or late yesterday. I think it was today. I was trying to play catch up on looking up stuff. So their statement was like they're not going to make a comment about Brian's body being found until they're emotionally ready. So basically, they're not in the middle of this name blame, he said, she said game, but they did make a statement. But I have a feeling the Petitos are sitting there trying to gather their thoughts, and it's like they're trying to figure out who they're going to either sue or try to get them to investigate because there's something up with the Laundrie parents. Their kid was missing for a month and he was basically right down the street. And it's like they never went looking for him. And when they did, oh, there he is. And the day before, they went to Walmart and the phone store twice that wasn't open, and they mailed some box at FedEx. It's like, what the hell was in that box? Someone put that in one of the Facebook groups, and this other girl got nasty and goes, it's none of our business what's in the box. That doesn't have anything to do with the case. So like everybody jumped on this one girl and said, how do you know? We don't know what they mailed. He could have mailed evidence or something because he knew at that time his son hadn't come home. He's probably dead. Or maybe Brian told him, if I'm not home by such and such date, get rid of this evidence. Like, we don't know what he mailed. He certainly couldn't take anything to the trash or a dumpster because the media was on him. Now, I don't know if any of you guys follow it on Twitter, but these people that are parked out in front of their house, a couple of them are reporters and we're getting really good stuff from them. But another thing happened where these two YouTubers, who a lot of people are like, yeah, until I hear it confirmed, I'm not going to really, think too much about it. But then when the cops started coming out today and backpedaling and admitted things they didn't technically lie about, but this was a misunderstanding and that, because the lawyer's calling them out, now you can't even like trust what's coming out of the police mouth because they're trying to cover their butt. Hi, Robert. So, anyways, the oh, I lost my train of thought. I was talking about the parents. Oh, the Facebook group. So they were talking about the box, and it was like, well, it could be evidence. And so the people in the group, they were all like attacking this girl, and I kind of felt bad for her because normally we don't think that way. Like, oh, what was in that box? But it's like everybody's following them. And a couple of these YouTubers, here's where I was going. They aren't YouTubers, they're on Twitter and TikTok. Jonathan and Andrea have been camped out with all the reporters and stuff in front of the laundry's house. I mean, they can't go anywhere without a cell phone in their face, the laundries. So as soon as now you have to figure they found his bones and remains, then immediately open the park to the public. So everybody and their brothers back there with their cell phones, walking around, digging for stuff, looking for stuff. So Jonathan goes back there and they time this out. It's an exact, like, I think he said 15 to 21 minutes, depending on if he was going fast or not, because he did it a couple times to get to the where the remains and the backpack and stuff were found from the trail. So he's posting on there going, how did the cops miss this? They had cadaver dogs like within 3 minutes of that area. And it's like cadaver dogs can smell train, they track them. And the cops are saying, oh, we searched that area and it was waist high water. So we had to stop. So these guys are back there now because they let all these citizens back there on the crime scene, finding bones, finding a water bottle that 100% matches a very odd, not common looking water bottle that you can see in the van, and also in another picture you see it on Gabby. So when they call the cops about the bones and stuff, the cops are like, no big deal. They left. So this girl, and they've got it all on video. This girl, someone had sent me a message, and I'm like, well, those guys aren't always 100% on, so maybe the cops thought they planted it there or whatever. So I didn't know what to think. I was like, why wouldn't the cops take that and fingerprint it? So, anyways, as it happens later on that night, the girl took it to the police department and filed a report. She's like, those cops you sent, they had to ask us at the trail, which way do we go? They didn't even know where the crime scene was. And we're walking all over it and they wouldn't take the stuff. So now it's been checked into evidence and it's being investigated. So we're like, okay, if these guys hadn't stuck their nose in there, these could be clues. They found more bones. They might turn out to be animal bones, but it's like they look like human bones to me. They were like vertebrae bones from your spine. So, anyways, it's like these citizen journalists are now like, I'm not saying solving the case, but it's like they're putting information to the cops that the cops were ignoring until they got insistent, and now they're doing it. And because of these people, they're coming out with lawyer statements and they're changing dates and times and stuff because there's all these guys from the street that, like, we have this all on video. We know what day who came where, and the lawyer got all over the police today because the police had put up, I don't know if you guys know, but the police had put up surveillance videos or cameras, like in the neighbors' yards and stuff. So it's like they had a view all the time of what was going on in Brian's house. So the lawyer came forward playing the blame game to the cops, kind of like, how did you guys lose them? You had everything on film. Were you not watching? You guys are saying, oh, we couldn't sit, and spy on him from the corner because he was only a person of interest. And the lawyer called him out on that. He's like, bull crap, you had him under surveillance. Someone fell asleep on the job and the guy slipped out. So then they came out with the story about, oh, we thought the mom was him. So, anyways, this just goes on and on and on. But, okay, Shay says that bottle could have evidence in it too, like drug residue or something Brian might have used to kill himself. Exactly. They didn't want anything to do with it. And when the police went to the police department, they took the bottle and the video showing that they walked up, and it's like, technically, they could have played some switch show change, or they could have went in there, put the bottle in there without their camera on, went out and then walked up and, oh, look, we found a bottle. But still, the police should have taken it. If they didn't find any prints on it, they didn't find any prints on it or liquid in it or whatever. But it's like the cops left bones. And I'm thinking, okay, they only found partial remains of him. So why did they open this place back up to the public where everybody's in there going around messing up stuff when it's like, how do they know? They haven't found all the bones yet. On top of that, it's like, we don't know if Brian committed suicide or if there's a murderer loose in their town that killed him. It's like nobody really knows. They haven't, provided anything yet. So yeah, I've never seen anything that's this bad of a excuse my language, but clusterfuck. I mean, we thought Vegas was bad and everyone was playing the blame game, but mostly it was like the social media people doing things to each other. It's like the cops and the lawyers and everyone publicly fighting. I'm just sitting back going, oh man. So we have Brian the murderer, who is dead, who they did not DNA test his bones. They matched his bones off dental records. So after the bones get with anthropologist or whatever, they're eventually going to DNA match him. But we have no DNA match to Brian, just dental records. This is a fact. The coroner made a statement today because there were rumors going around. So this got confirmed by the coroner and the cops because people were passed around on Facebook. Oh, they don't know it's Brian. They didn't do DNA tests. It could be anybody's bones. So the coroner and the police came out with statements that no, it's 100% Brian from dental records. So to add another layer to this deliciousness, there's stuff going around on social media that Brian's uncle is a dentist. And I have not had time to go verify that or not. Okay. So these people that are talking about this on social media, what they're alluding to is they didn't DNA test the bones. And if his uncle's a dentist, we still don't know if that was Brian. Brian could be on the run because he's wanted for murder, even though he's only a person of interest. So I haven't had time to dig into Uncle Dennis yet. I'm sorry I'm laughing, but some of this stuff as it unfolds is just, it's like a movie. I've never seen anything like it in my life. You throw in Dog the Bounty Hunter, the America's Most Wanted John Walsh guy. The reporters are all getting in there. It's like everybody on social media all over the place. This is totally blowing up. And it's like, it's almost like a made for TV movie. And I can't believe this many people have made this many mistakes. So, was it just head parts? What they found a partial skull and a couple other bones that they haven't told us what they are yet. So the partial skull obviously was the part. I mean, you have your jawbone down there that has teeth, but then you have the top part with teeth. So I'm not sure if they found the whole top part of his head and the jaw was missing, or if they found the bottom. But it would make sense that animals got to him and he's scattered all over that reserve. Or if it flooded and his body got eaten by animals and floated around and then the water receded, he could be anywhere. So I don't understand why they're allowing the public back there. Because now you could have people, I mean, granted, it's not a murder investigation because now the supposed be killer, if he was, is dead. But Gabby's parents still need answers even though he's dead. You can't press charges against a dead person or bring charges against a dead person. But as far as investigating, they still want answers like, did Brian do this or not? So yeah, Shay, the lawyer, when you go to his website, he's got a tab for criminal, but it's like drunk driving, little infractions like that. This guy's totally not qualified to be a murder lawyer. But he hasn't really had to do the murder thing yet. He's just given them advice. But it's like, I think he gave them really bad advice when he told them all to zip it. Because I think that's going to come back and bite them in the butt. Because I have a feeling eventually the Petitos are going to file charges because Brian wouldn't tell, and maybe they could have got to the daughter before she was dead, or who knows what. They're upset that they couldn't get her remains back and they had to have a funeral with an empty urn. So it's like they're going to find something, either that or people are going to find some reason. The Laundries could sue the police department. The police department came forward today and yesterday and admitted a whole bunch of stuff they did wrong. So it's like, why would you admit that when now the Laundries could sue you? So, and anyways, even though their lawyer is not a great criminal lawyer, he is the ambulance chasing kind that would love that kind of a lawsuit. So, anyways, yes, I was filing a snaggy nail. Damn, DL, you got good ears. Yeah, he is a real estate agent too, and he does real estate law. He specializes it, high blind straight. And the weird thing about that is there's all these social media rumors going around about, different houses and this and that. Well, I don't know if you guys remember me from Vegas, but it's like I run background reports on everyone. I get all their real estate transactions. I know who bought and sold their house for the last 20 years and every piece of real estate they own. So I'm going through all this crap, and then people start posting, on TikTok and this and that. Oh, I'm her friend, and they didn't live with the parents. They lived here, and the parents owned the house. And it's like, yeah, no, they didn't. So some of these rumors I can shut down, but some of them I go looking at, and there's one thing in the real estate transactions where I think it was the house they had before the one they're in, or it might have been the one before that, because they've transferred real estate a lot of times. This house got put into a living trust with the Wheeler Corporation. So I looked up them, and I remember from when we were doing, like, my dad before he died, his end of the life things. And you can take, if you don't want your property to have to go through probate for your kids to fight over it, you can put it in this thing called a living trust. And then in your will, you just say, my son so and so gets everything. And then it automatically gets transferred to that person. But if you just transfer it to your son when you're still alive, your son could either get mad at you and boot you out of your house, or if your son, say, has a bad car accident and gets sued or files bankruptcy, any like things that go against your kid, you don't have to lose in your house because he's listed as an owner if you sign it over to him. So people use these living trusts. So anyways, their last bit of real estate went into this living trust, and I was like, okay, what's the deal with this? They have the attorney. I wouldn't think they were to the age that they'd be, so worried about dying that they're going to go, make sure they got their stuff transferred. So anyways, I found it really, really interesting. And plus the dentist thing, I'm really interested in that. But oh, and Shay says she found a case where they disputed over 88 feet. Yeah, this lawyer's shady. I'm telling you. I mean, he's holding his own as far as arguing with the police officers. Hey, Smokey, I haven't seen you in a long time. Okay, Smokey's parents already did the living trust, and Smokey's young, so maybe someone Brian's parents' age would do that. All right, that's good to know then, Smokey. So what we're going to talk about is everybody aware of the body count that's piling up in the Grand Teton National Park, all within a couple miles of Gabby's body? Has anyone heard about any of this yet? Okay, no one typed a comment.
The chat disconnected again.
I just saw what Smokey said. He said my parents have put everything in that already.
I know, but underneath that, it says chat disconnected and then successfully connected. So there must be something going on with the chat.
Everybody type a yes in here. Okay, so I'm seeing them. I see Discerning Light. I see Chris. I see Shay. Something's going on that's weird, but everybody's back in now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's exactly right, Shay. They're out there hunting because they were hunting for Gabby, and they found all these other bodies. The funny thing, well, not funny, but it's like they found another body today. And there's another body they haven't found yet of a missing guy. So there's some like real serious weirdness going on. Oh, Smokey says everything his parents own and the house is in it. All the money will go to him when his last parent passes. So yeah, they do that so you don't have to mess with the probate stuff. So maybe that's what Brian's parents did with that last house. But funny thing is about the house, it's like, why do you have your kid living with you if you own this other house that apparently you didn't sell because it's sitting in the trust? They didn't put the house they're living in the trust. They put this previous house in. So it's like, I don't know, maybe they have renters in it or something. It's just very, very weird. Hi, Vicky. I haven't seen you in a long time. Yeah, Discerning Light in Flight Life's chat the other day, a bunch of people were doing research, and people were saying, how many millions of people a year visit the national parks and what the average is per month of how many people die. And it was just crazy. Oh yeah, that's funny, Smokey. So anyways, before I go and start pulling stuff up and reading stuff, Matt, you go ahead and talk for a minute because I know you've got stuff to say about all this missing person stuff too.
Yeah.
No, Brian and Gabby were living with the parents. They were living with Brian's parents. The condo thing is a rumor. The condo addresses they keep throwing out, I can't find any records that his parents ever owned. So they could have something shady going on that I don't know about, but from the legal records that show all the real estate, there's two different addresses floating around for these condos that people on social media are saying Brian and Gabby live there. And it's like, I can't find any record of his parents ever owning it. And Mr. Petito, Gabby's father, says she lived with the Laundries. So if they were renting this mysterious condo, why wouldn't her dad know? And her dad in June moved to Vero Beach, Florida to be closer to her. So it's not like he was in New York with all the other parents. So I'm pretty sure the dad would know where his daughter lived. But that's the thing. These rumors get going on social media. It's like, I don't have time to go through the rabbit holes for stuff that it's like, it might be proven that I'm wrong later, but it's like, I think they live with the parents. I don't see any real estate transactions, and I don't know why Gabby's parents would say it. And people keep bringing it up, and it's like, I'm not wasting 2 hours to go down that rabbit hole. It's like, in my opinion, they live with the parents. So it might come out later. The dad might say, well, I thought they were living with the parents, but they were really living here. But the dad's not going to make it up. Exactly, discerning light. Neighbors even said it. So that's the thing. It's like, I can't go running down, like, if someone else wants to run down them and bring me some factual stuff, then I'll change my mind. But it's like, if her dad's saying it and the cops are saying it, then in my opinion, it's like they live with the parents. But now the cops are getting caught in lies. So are the laundries. So it's really hard to know whether you can believe them or not. But anyways, like I said, I'm going to shut up and let Matt talk for a little bit until we dig into the missing people, because I've got a list. And when I started digging the other day on the newlywed couple, I already knew about one of the other guys. Well, then as I'm digging today, another one showed up. Then I sent Matt a message like, you're not going to believe it, but we got another missing guy. And it's like, it's just crazy. It's like snowball effect. So anyways, before we dig into all that, Matt, go ahead and talk. I never give you a chance, so you got the mic.
Okay. All these people that have been coming up missing, it's all happened around the time. Well, not all of them, but a lot of them happened around the time that Gabby had gone missing.
You know what's weird? I updated the description of this video and had all that information in there, and it's not there right now. Let me go try to find it again and see if it shows up.
Anyways,
It's
in my opinion, I believe that there's a serial killer out there.
I think there is too. And that's why I had it in the description, because I wanted people to be able to see it with their own eyes. So I'm just going to read what was supposed to be in the description but hasn't shown up. From August through October of 2021, the remains of 5 hikers campers have been recovered in the Grand Teton National Park, and another hiker, which would be 6th person, has been missing since June from the same area. The thing is, it's like these people we're talking are within a couple miles of each other. It's not like they're 100 miles away. So we've got Kylen Schulte, who was last seen August 13th, 2021. Her remains were discovered 8/18/2021. She was murdered by gunshots, shot to death. Her newlywed partner, Beck Turner, last seen on 8/13. Remains discovered 8/18, same as the other girl, shot to death, murdered. Then we've got Robert Lowrey, who vanished August 20th, and his remains weren't found till September 28th. So he was ruled a suicide. He had gunshots to the head. So my question is, if he was gone for 5 weeks, he would have been skin and bones and animals would have tore him up. So it's like, how would you know if someone shot him in the head or if he shot himself? So even though they ruled it a suicide, being that there's other murders in the area, it's like I throw him on my list too. Then you've got Gabby, who was reported missing the 11th, and her remains were found the 19th, and she was skin and bones, but I think she was really missing before the 11th. That's just when her parents reported her. Then, are they laughing yet? And she was ruled strangulation. Then today we have Jared Hembree, who has been missing since October 21st, and his remains were found today, and they haven't released his manner of death. Then I'm digging further, and I found out that Cian McLaughlin vanished in June of 2021 and has not been found yet. And he's from Ireland, and his mom's all over the news and stuff saying, "Look, find my kid." I know that it's a rescue, it's not a rescue mission now, it's a recovery mission, but she's like, we need his bones. We're here in the United States from Ireland and are running out of money. It's like, find my kid. So every single one of these people I just mentioned are in the same area. And if you go through the dates and look at them, which I wish they showed up in the description, I'll have to add them later. But if you lay out these dates, it's like Brian Laundrie couldn't have killed all these people. When it was just the newlywed couple, it fit the timeline, and we're like, oh yeah, maybe Gabby witnessed him killing them, so he killed Gabby or whatever, and we're coming up with all this stuff. And Robert, we actually said, well, he came up missing on 8/20, so technically Brian could have killed him too. But now we've got the other guy they found today who wasn't missing until October 21st. They found him 4 days later, and the other guy's been missing since June. So it's like, we can't pin those on Brian. Okay, so like, do we have a serial killer or what? Yes. Oh, they're talking about when they went on the road. Hang on, let me get my timeline thing. They, I got the exact dates. Me and Chris have been working on the timeline. Okay. June 17th, Gabby and Brian left Florida and went to Blue Point, New York for Gabby's brother's graduation. They stayed there until July 2nd, and that's when they left from Blue Point, New York on a trip they were expecting to end in Oregon around Halloween. So then we go through the whole timeline after that. But yeah, they left in July and weren't coming back till October, anyways. But my point is, we've got two murdered, missing, whatever you want to call it, people that we can't pin on Brian. So Matt and I think there's a serial killer out there. Maybe Brian and her. I mean, when we were going through the timeline and the Instagram and stuff with Chris over on Flight Life channel, we were already talking about, it seemed like when you looked at the timeline and the Instagram posts, like they had a couple fights and separated. I mean, we already saw the body cam, but there was a couple other things that police didn't show up, but people at stores or restaurants, said, yeah, they were fighting. So we're thinking, what if they split up and he went to a different campground one night, next day came back and she's dead? She's only a couple miles away from those honeymooners. So it's like, what if someone killed her, he got scared, and he headed home? Well, since the serial killer's got all these other bodies under his thumb and knew Brian was in the reserve, maybe he went and bumped off Brian. It's like, we don't know. I'm pretty sure Brian killed Gabby. I'm not sticking up for him, but it's like, what if? I mean, even if Brian did kill Gabby, we still have all these other murders. So it's like there's a murderer loose. I was kind of blaming Brian for the newlyweds till I saw all these other ones. And I'm like, some of them he was already back in Florida. He couldn't be the killer. So, anyways, I'm going to shut up again now that I blurted all that out. Just go ahead and tell the chat what you're thinking, Matt.
Well, I believe that I don't believe Brian did kill Gabby. But what
You
I'm
don't
thinking
think he
is
did, or you do think he did?
I don't think he did.
Fran thinks that he killed Gabby, but not any of the other people.
Well, I mean, anything's possible, but it's possible that
Matt,
it,
I'm reading chats. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
it's possible that maybe she could have come across this other person that's doing all these killings. Maybe she ran. Maybe the guy caught up to her and strangled her. Maybe he couldn't shoot her. I don't know, because most of them have gunshot wounds, right?
They haven't determined yet Jared. He's the one they found today, and they have not determined his cause of death or haven't released it or whatever. So we don't know about him. The women for sure were shot to death. And Robert, who they ruled a suicide, he was shot too.
Right.
So they could have accidentally ruled it a suicide. His family doesn't believe. I mean, it's like he had children and a job and a family, and they're like, he wouldn't go buy all that camping equipment and stuff to go out and murder himself. But it's like, the coroner said it's suicide, so they're grieving for their poor son, trying to figure out why he would kill himself. But yeah, it's like I think he didn't kill himself. I mean, I'm not gonna, go on the news or say anything to upset his family or anything, but it's like,
Right. But
Now you
what
also
I
have to
think
remember the
though,
same coroner is doing all of these because they're all in that same area.
all right, but
Yeah,
what I
Fran, I have been too.
think happened is that you know he, Brian probably freaked out when he found Gabby dead, and then he figured, with all the commotion that's happened with them, all the arguments that they had, being pulled over, it was on body cam and all that stuff, and then all the fights that they had in public places, he probably thought, you know what, I'm screwed. They're gonna think it's me. And then he probably called his father, and father said, "Well, get your ass home," and
Biggest
ended up
mistake was telling him to drive in that van.
right. Yeah, no, he should have done that. He should have gotten on an airplane and gotten home. That's what he should have done. But apparently that's not what happened.
I haven't heard about this new coroner, Dr. Blue, getting fired. He gave a statement today, and if he got fired, I don't think he would have been given statements. But there could have been a coroner from one of those other people. Like, they were all within a couple miles of each other, but there's so many different like state lines and borders and this and that it's like some of these parks aren't all in one state. So it's possible it was different coroners. But anyways, Matt, I think that you could be right. He found her dead, knew he would get blamed for it, so he went on the run. The question I have though is, if he was going to kill himself, why wouldn't he just do it in the comfort of his own home? Why go hiking and do it? It just,
I
to
don't
me,
know.
that doesn't make sense.
No, well,
And the
nothing
other
makes
thing,
sense. No matter what,
well,
no matter how you look at this case, nothing makes sense. I mean, there's so
well,
many red
that's what I'm saying.
flags.
It's like a made-for-TV movie with Dog the Bounty Hunter. You got all these different characters, and I don't know if people know this, but it's like I follow all the stuff on Twitter from these main pages that are out there on the corner by the house. Mr. Lowrey went out on the 24th and put "Do not, no trespassing" signs all over his grass. There was another day people put a bunch of laundry baskets in his yard. They've been messing with this family pretty good. But anyways, this one guy I follow, his name's Jonathan. He's the one getting the good footage and everything. But when you go do some looking into him, it's like he has been at every major event. He was at Sandy Hook and told a reporter that he was the cousin or brother or uncle or something, and the newspaper printed it. And then he's like, well, it's not my fault. They printed his face too. So he filed a lawsuit. And then he was at a ton of other events. Like, this is what he does. He goes to stuff like this. And he was at the the taking over of the Capitol thing on January 6th. So this guy's got quite a huge track record of places that he's gone and documented, like what he's doing with the Gabby case. So, anyways, he's got like more lawsuits that he's filed on other people than like anyone else in the country, according to folklore that I'm reading about the guy. So I'm following him on Twitter, and he's like posting videos every day. They're the ones that went out and found the water bottle, and they're the ones that are getting all these weird things the laundries are doing and stuff. So at first I didn't really believe everything they said, but now I'm seeing that it's like, well, they're documenting it on video. They would have no reason to lie. And it's like, now that I found out he's kind of social media famous, and the other lady that's with him is kind of social media famous, you throw them in with John Walsh from America's Most Wanted and Dog the Bounty Hunter, and it's like you keep getting all these characters, and it's like, I've just never seen anything like this in my life. So much is happening every day, you can't even keep up. And now I'm starting to wonder if Brian even killed her or killed anyone. I was thinking he was a serial killer until I found these other two people. The one guy was missing long before Brian arrived there, and the other guy was killed and missing after Brian had already gone home. So it's like, Brian's not the serial killer unless there's two. And it's like, this is just crazy. Hi, Kevin. How are you? Oh, a mainstream media operator was arrested for threatening to kill Matt Getz. Yeah, I haven't really looked into anything else. I started researching these newlyweds that got killed right by Gabby, and that rabbit hole just ended up tumbling into all this other information. So yeah, if there's something else rolling around out there, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't even have time to look because I've just been immersed in this. Um, I don't know if everyone here is Chris Thompson. Can you grab the link for Flight Life's channel and drop it in the chat? Truth Tracker, Chris, that used to do all the Vegas stuff with us, he's got another YouTube channel called Flight Life, and me and Matt have been going live with him on there. And he's got some really good couple of videos where he's made these slideshows with a timeline of their entire van journey. He pulled everything off Instagram and stuff, and now we're working on a timeline. I've been sending him information. He's been updating his timeline that he sends me, and we're trying to get this timeline from like the day Brian arrived home, everything that's happened after that. So I just got an email from him a little while ago, but he'll probably be going live in the next couple of days with this next batch of stuff. And he does like really good professional work. So yeah, if Chris drops the link in there, then there it is. Everyone go subscribe to Flight Life. That's Truth Tracker Chris from Vegas. But yeah, he's doing some really good work, and he's like professional with his audio visual stuff. He does stuff I couldn't even dream of doing. So I'm just helping him get some stuff, and he's sorting it out, but he's making these beautiful slideshow videos. Oh, you never followed Truth Tracker, Shay, during Vegas? He was like Vegas famous. He did disappear for the last year. He kind of but yeah, he was the one that did, you probably remember, he was the one that did all the flight radar data with the airplanes in the airport and the helicopters and all that, where you'd see, the little helicopters buzzing around in the sky, and he had everything, time to the minute with the gunshots. Chris Thompson did a lot of work with the gunshot stuff too. A lot of these people like collaborated with each other. And so yeah, if you're not subscribed to Flight Life and you don't remember Truth Tracker, go subscribe to that link Chris Thompson just dropped. And I would go back and watch like his last 2 or 3 live streams, even if you got to watch them in pieces because you don't have that long to sit and watch them. But it's like his work is beautifully, like as far as visually, it's like wow. So, and he keeps building upon what he did the last time. He's like doing it in chunks. Like now we're moving on to like from the day Brian got home, and every day we're flipping stuff back and forth to each other of new timeline stuff because it's just unraveling so quick. Like who just set up here? I saw someone in the chat. Oh yeah, Jonathan, crisis actor, director, or something. And then someone else said, yeah, Shay said, she said from the very beginning, this thing's too Hollywood. It is very Hollywood. It is. I mean, there are hoaxers out there in some of these groups that are saying the whole thing's made up and Gabby and Brian are dead. And it's like, I want to tell them they're wrong, but I just keep my mouth shut because this thing is such Hollywood that it's like, just in case we're being duped, I don't want to be the one saying, you guys are wrong. That's so terrible, disrespectful. So I'm just staying out of it, keeping my mouth shut. Um, okay, Shay remembers Chris's work but didn't know about this channel. Yeah, his Truth Tracker channel got zapped by YouTube. Then he started another Truth Tracker one. And then when he kind of left Vegas research for a while, him and his friends went into did some music stuff and some video stuff. And he's got drones, and this Flight Life is because he started doing this channel with his drones. Like a couple weeks ago, he was at Disney World, and they filmed all this stuff from up in the sky and at night with the lights and the fireworks. And it's like he does really good work. I stayed up late one night, watched his Disneyland videos, and it's like they weren't even like research related, they were just really cool. So that's why he started the Flight Life, because he started doing the drone kind of stuff. But when the Gabby case fell in his lap, he's like, oh, I can't pass this up. Miss Dawn, I haven't seen you in forever. How you doing, girl? Oh, there you go, Shay. That's another actor to throw in there. I forgot. We got 2 interviews with Dr. Phil. and Ashley Banfield's on it, and that Grace lady's Nancy Grace. So it's like this case is grabbing stuff, and Miss Dawn's right. She says so another distraction for society. Everyone has got sucked into this so much that it's like we're not talking about politics. It's like someone put a comment in there a few minutes ago about something with politics. And it's just like I haven't even looked into any of that stuff. Haven't looked into any new COVID stuff, vaccine stuff, whatever. It's like I am totally immersed in this case, and I think like it's not just me because Twitter and Instagram and TikTok and Facebook, it's like everything's buzzing about this. And it's just like, oh man. Dr. Phil is a doctor. He has a PhD. Anyone that goes to college and gets a PhD gets the honor of being called doctor. So he's not a medical doctor that gives shots or writes prescriptions, but like scientists and stuff can be doctors. Anyone that gets a PhD. It's like my daughter has a master's degree. If she goes to college for a couple more years and writes her thesis, she will get a PhD and we'll have to call her a doctor. That's how it goes. So I know a lot of people say, oh, Dr. Phil's not a doctor, but it's like he is. Anyone that goes to college long enough to earn a PhD, they get the title doctor. So technically he is, but he's just not a medical doctor. But anyways, yeah, it is good to see everybody in the chat. I feel like you're having a little Vegas reunion in there. So Matt, more about the serial killer. You've had more time to soak this in because I've been like hunting for stuff and sending it to you, but you've had more time to mull it over. I've just been like in a frenzy finding stuff. So sitting there relaxing, mulling this shit over, it's like, go ahead.
I forgot what I was going to say.
You were talking before about the serial killer stuff, then I started talking again.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I mean, I believe that there's a serial killer out there. You know who this person is, I don't know, but obviously, with all these people that are being killed, I just don't believe it's Brian. There's just, I mean, or unless it's an isolated incident, then I believe that there's a person out there that's doing this. Somebody else. Now, how Brian got killed, I have no idea. I mean, I'm kind of wondering if he was even killed at all. I mean, this could be a whole show for all we know.
I'm typing. Go ahead.
So, I mean, that's what I think. I don't know if anybody else agrees with me, but
I'm typing. Go ahead and talk.
no, I know. Hold on, let me get back into my thing here.
I get confused. Truth in You. Hello. We're talking about the shit show of Gabby Petito and all of the missing people and serial killers. I haven't seen him in a while. Yeah, I wonder if this whole thing's even real. I'm following the chat. I didn't mean to interrupt you again, Matt. Go ahead. I want to hear more about the serial killer theory.
Well, that's what I think. I mean, you know, because if you look at it, I mean, if Brian was wasn't with Gabby, like after the fight that happened at the Mary Piglets, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You remember there was an argument there?
Mary Piglets was, I believe,
It was on the 27th.
Wait a minute, I'm getting this stuff out. Oh yeah, Mary Piglets was the same day as the van on the side of the road.
Exactly.
Fight was 27th.
Now,
I was thinking of the other one.
According to Chris, he said that he thinks that Gabby took off without Brian.
Yeah, he thinks for a couple days she took off because on the 29th, he was seen at the Coulter Bay Village Campground shower by somebody alone. And also on the 29th, he hitchhiked with two different people. Mm-hmm. So Chris's theory, I was thinking she got killed on the 27th, the same day we saw that van video and the fight at Mary Piglets. But Chris thinks she lived until hitchhiking night and they were just in a fight and separated for a couple days. because he went through and dissected all their social media.
Mhm.
Yes, Truth in You, I want to hear what you think. Do you want the link? Because I don't know what to think about this. I think the whole thing could be make believe. I think we could have a serial killer. I don't even know if they really found Brian or if they've got him in witness protection. It's like I don't know what's going on. Matt, do you think there's a chance that Brian's alive? I think he's really dead, but the people that are speculating that he's still alive, it's like, yeah, I can't really
I
tell.
don't know. I sorry, I'm getting feedback here. You know what? I gotta jump out of here. I'm having issues here. Let me jump
Okay.
out of here and jump back.
Hi, Paul. Paul says the Kings of Moab. Brian was a chameleon. He could be sitting across from you at McDonald's with long hair and a business suit. I agree that Brian pretty much looks like every other guy. He could easily get sunglasses, hat, whatever, and blend in. Okay, discerning light, the hitchhiker. Here's the two hitchhiking things. The second hitchhiker was Norma Jean Jalabek. She left a Catholic mass service at the Chapel of the Sacred Heart, Grand Teton National Park. She gave Laundry a ride. She picked him up at 6:30 to 6:40, past the dam near Pacific Creek Landing, and dropped him off at the Spread Creek Dispersed Campground. I don't think Church Lady lied. The one before her seems a bit iffy, but since her story jives up with the Church Lady, because Miranda had him first, she picked him up around 5:30 and she dropped him off where Church Lady picked him up. And the times match perfectly. So it's like, I'm not thinking the Catholic Mass. I mean, you're camping on a vacation and you're that churchy that you're going to go to Mass. I mean, that lady is lying. And they verified that she was at church and stuff. Because, I mean, these were statements that went to the police. So if you believe the church lady, you have to believe Miranda because their stories jive. Okay, Truth in You says, to make it short and sweet, I think it was all make believe created the try and gin up sympathy and try to get people to rally against the guns because the New World Order can't go on without them. They haven't brought up guns yet, though, Truth in You. Gabby was strangled. Oh, I'm watching the Foundation money, yeah. Her parents have kept quiet, so they're not accidentally letting anything slip. But Brian's parents' lawyer needs to shut his trap. He's like going to get his clients in trouble if he keeps giving these little speeches, but with the speeches, he's leaking information. Shay, what questions do you have? Oh, about the foundation? And Truth in You, that's the thing. I agree with the whole distraction, New World Order stuff, but it's like they haven't brought up guns. Everything's always done and they blame gun control, da da da, da, and then Gabby's strangled. And it's like, okay. Domestic violence is their agenda. I kind of think that that's it too, Shay, because it happened to be, I don't know, the other day or whatever was National Domestic Violence Month or day or week or whatever. I saw that come across. And I've also seen all these different people start posting, why is Gabby getting all this attention? What about this missing person and that missing person? And it's like kind of snowballed into this whole, you know, awareness of how many people are missing. I gotta find the link and see if I can get Matt back in here. And I honestly don't see the StreamYards link. Would I be dumb enough to have closed that? Because he might be in the basement. You guys just chat with each. Oh, I found it. He's still not in the basement. I think he had computer issues. Now I gotta find my right tab again. Um, Anyways, Shay says, well, they already have that all set up, including scholarships, et cetera, and a bunch of other stuff. The foundation has something about domestic violence. Well, at first, when they started the foundation, it was for missing children. Then, after everything came out about the domestic violence, then they added that. So they didn't have a domestic violence fund set up before they knew that that had happened to her. They just kind of added that to it. If you go to their foundation website and snoop around and see their mission statement, and then you know from the news when they opened the foundation, it's like they added that domestic violence thing later. Oh, Truth in You, definitely. That's what we're talking about. This whole case does not jive. There's more Hollywood thrown into this case. And all day today, the lawyers and cops pointing the finger. He said, she said, we lied, you lied, changing their story. And hey, Ronnie, you finally got here. But yeah, Truth in You, it smells rotten. No, Ronnie, because we have pretty much just talked about everything me and you talked about earlier. We just went through the whole everything that's happened today and yesterday on social media, and then we went over all the missing person stuff, and we had Matt, and we lost him, and I keep waiting for him to show back up in the basement. Ronnie, do you want to come on? I know you get shy. Where do they plan on all the money coming from? They're going to get money from donations. It's like every time there's a hurricane or something, there's a disaster fund, all kinds of people start donating money. So the parents are going to get all the money from donations, and then they'll give the money to like domestic violence shelters and stuff. I don't think his parents having a fund or her parents having a fund is that big of a deal. I mean, they started the original fund was to find her. And then once she was found, they just kind of were like, well, let's just make it go to domestic violence and keep it rolling. Oh, Ronnie's fixing dinner. Does anyone else want to come on? Truth in You, do you want to come on? Because I'd like listening to your ideas on this stuff, and I just don't think that it has anything to do with gun control. But Chris Thompson, do you want to come on? Anyone in the chat want to come on? I'm wondering why the police, I mean, I can understand the Florida police not giving a shit about all these other people that got killed in that mountain, but it's like we're talking 5 people and another one still missing within a couple mile radius during a 2-month period. So it's like the police need to be looking at this connection. There's something going on in the Grand Teton National Park. No, a foundation isn't a one-time deal. You keep it open forever. But if you find 5 women's shelters for battered women and pledge to donate a fifth of your money every year for the next 200 years, there's nothing wrong with that. It's not like a GoFundMe where they cash the money out, but if they're going to donate the money to domestic violence, there's plenty of shelters all around that they could constantly be donating money. You could never collect enough money to help all the women that need help. You know, because some of these shelters are just like soup kitchens, and then there's other ones that try to set them up with housing and, you know, suits to go get a job and stuff. So it's like, I don't see anything wrong with her parents having a foundation set up and sending the money to homeless people or to domestic violence people if they really do that. Oh, his computer's acting weird. Do a restart. Oh, for Gabby, yeah, Miss Dawn, you're a couple weeks behind. I forgot you weren't digging in this like us. Yes, she was strangled. Homicide, strangled. She was throttled, were his words that he publicly said. So someone put their arms around her and killed her. It's not like she was strangled with a rope or a ligature or whatever. Oh, well, after it fades away, Shay, if nobody will donate, then they'll just close the foundation. I mean, if I opened a foundation and was donating money to, you know, just, I don't know, runaway kids or something, if people stopped donating, I'd just close the foundation. But I think that they'll keep this going. As long as they keep it in the public thing, it'll become a big thing. Yeah, DL, that's what I was saying earlier. It's like somebody else had posted in one of the chats over on Flight Life's channel about how many people die in these parks every year. The one thing I want to question, and I mean, I don't know how many people are going to watch this video, but it's like, don't go hiking alone. Are you a moron? Every one of these people, except the newlyweds, took off hiking in the middle of the wilderness by themselves. And apparently they didn't have a weapon with them because they couldn't fend off. It's not like when they found the people dead, there were bullet holes in the trees from them trying to save their life. So it's like these people went hiking by themselves in the middle of the woods. It's not like they were just on a camping trail down the street from their house. So I know people in national parks come up missing and dead all the time, but it's like, then stop going hiking alone without a weapon. I'm sure you're probably not allowed to have a weapon in a national park, but it's like, I'm not going in someplace by myself without a weapon. I'll have it in the bottom of my backpack. It's not like they search you. So, well, her YouTube channel, she posted one video on. I've got a copy of it on my channel. It's called Nomadic Static. She only has one video posted on there. Let me get the date. Oh, I pulled the wrong document up. Hang on. I gotta open up another one. I've got so many windows open on my computer right now. Just from going through all this stuff. Okay, the body cam was from the August 12th, and the video, she posted one video on her YouTube channel 5 days before she was last seen. That's what I've got written down on my sheet. So that's the only video they have. But they were like totally doing social media, like she was starting a blog and she had all these Instagram followers, and it's like, I don't think he was that into the being famous thing, but okay, but I'll get you, Chris. But yeah, I don't think he was so much into being, but it's like she wanted to be social media famous. I mean, there's no doubt with the way she wanted to do her blogs, and she filmed everything and just everything that was going on. There you go, Chris. Tell me when you're in the basement so I can check. So okay, Truth News says, yeah, or they can wait for court cases to get their funds, like what we experienced. Coming to find out, that's what the stay behind Network for October 1st was waiting for, which was their money. I don't think those people ever got their money. Miss Dawn, yeah, I didn't know you weren't digging into this. She was in a Sandy Hook video after the Sandy Hook shooting. I've also got that on my channel. It's very weird. That's another weird connection. Like after the Sandy Hook shooting happened, a lady made a song like a tribute to it, and Gabby and her two brothers are in this video. So I copied it and put it on my channel, so you can go find that there too. It's really, really creepy when you look at all the weird connections with this lady. When the Sandy Hook thing came out, my jaw just dropped. And that was long before Dog the Bounty Hunter even got into this. It was like every other day there was another thing that was a weird, not making sense thing. Truth in you can hit the link if you want. You just can't subject jump. You have to stick to this case. You guys didn't know about the Sandy Hook? Oh, hang on a second. You guys want me to show this video? I thought everyone knew about this. See, I forget that everyone's not like digging into this like every day, like we have been. Because like to all of us, it's like, okay, this is old news, this is old news. But if you haven't seen it, the Sandy Hook video is like weird. I mean, it's just, if you followed Sandy Hook, it's weird anyways. But to see that they made this kind of a video right after this all happened is just, it's bizarre. So let me see if I can figure out how to screen share this without Matt's help. And I will play this. All right, I got it paused. At the beginning, I just show her, and then I go into showing the whole thing. Okay, I just added Chris. So, Chris, I am going to share a video. Everyone say hi to Chris. Chris, I think you're muted. Okay, now tell me when you can see that on the screen, and when you can, I'm gonna hit play. Matt usually talks me through the screen sharing part, so all right, I see it now. So I am gonna unmute and play this. This is the video after Sandy Hook. Right there, that face you see, that's Gabby. And when it gets a little farther in the video, like I play the parts with her and then I play the whole video. It's only like 4.5 minutes long, but that's the face you're looking for, holding this sign. And then there's another one where she's laying on her belly. So, okay, I am gonna full screen it and play this for you guys.
Utter your name.
That's Gabby. That's Gabby. And now this is the full video. I just wanted you to know where to look for her. But yeah, this is about Sandy Hook.
It's not easy getting by, living each day without you. No one knows the way that I feel, the depth of being alone. No one knows the visions I have. These visions won't leave me alone. You are irreplaceable. You are irreplaceable. You are irreplaceable. You are irreplaceable. It started out just like every day, no knowledge of what was to come. With all these questions left unsaid, they think money will soothe us all. And as we try to figure it out, you're the heroes that live in our souls. You are irreplaceable. You are irreplaceable. You are irreplaceable. You are irreplaceable. Things happen for a reason. I believe that way. And who knew that would get me through each and every day? It's not easy getting by, living each day by the rules. Now it's our job to defend, to make sure you don't die in vain. Now it's time to protect us all, to remember and honor your name. You are irreplaceable. You are irreplaceable. You are irreplaceable. You are irreplaceable. Now you're gone, I'm trying to move on. The end is a breath
I couldn't answer your questions in the chat because I was screen sharing, so I didn't have any way to type it up there. Had you ever seen that before, Chris?
No, ma'am, I have not.
Oh, wow.
No.
Okay.
Wow.
That was let me pull up again. Someone had asked in the chat when it was. I wanted to say bye to Miss Dawn. She was leaving. I was dying to answer your questions in there, but I couldn't type because it was screen sharing. Okay, that video was in 2013. Gabby was 14 years old, so that was literally like right after Sandy Hook. So that puts a whole new twist on things, huh, Chris?
Was she a crisis actor, man? I saw that T had sent or chatted.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It's like you throw in the Sandy Hook buzz. And Shay said she didn't know if you could get a hold of it. Yeah, I've got the whole Sandy Hook file. I actually have a 2.5 hour, I think that's how long it is, video I did a couple years ago that has all the Sandy Hook stuff. It's got the footage from when they went to search inside the house and all the photographs. There's like hundreds and hundreds of photographs. So yeah, I've got like all that stuff.
That's interesting, man. Yeah.
So yeah, the Sandy Hook connection, that puts another little cherry on top. It is, Jerome. It's cheesy but eerie at the same time. Being that she, I mean, don't do conspiracy stuff, but being that, you know, they were asked to do this video for the poor dead Sandy Hook kids, and she does this video, and then she ends up dead. It's just like, it's too weird. Truth News says they were all crisis actors. I'm not going to get into the Sandy Hook thing because I don't want to get my channel shut down, but I spent every day, all day for years on Sandy Hook, and all I'm going to say, and you guys can read into it what you want, but it's like Adam Lanza never existed. He was not a human on this earth. So take from that what you want. I don't want to disrespect anybody's dead children or accuse any parents of crime or yada, 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 but it's like fact, 100%. I would bet my 3 kids' life on it and my grandkids. Adam Lanza never existed. So that's my take on that. And you guys know how I am when I research. I'm always like on the fence where it might be this and it might be that. And it's like, I don't want to, like I said, disrespect any of the parents or children or accuse the cops of anything. But it's like Adam did not exist. He was a fake, made-up person. The main thing that leads me to that conclusion is I've got video, which is very rare. It wasn't like widely distributed, but the cops that went into the house videoed everything. And as they're going through the home, it was obvious that nobody lived there based on, I mean, they go in the teenager's room and it's like, you know what a teenage boy's room looks like. And they had black plastic bags taped up over his windows. And it's like, I don't know if anyone ever used that blue painter's tape, but if you tape up your walls the night before, when you wake up in the morning, that tape's not up there anymore. So it's like those bags weren't taped.
Yeah, it's not.
It's
not like F tape or nothing, you know.
He's got like a bowl of cereal with a spoon and a couple video consoles with like 2 video games. And it's like, this is not a room. He's got 3 or 4 things hanging in his closet. So it's like not happening. It's not a teenage boy's room. Then another thing is when they're not thinking anyone's going to notice, when they're going through the living room and the family room and the mom's bedroom and stuff, it's like one frame in every place with one kid, and it was Ryan. If you had 2 boys, there'd be all these double frames for a picture of this one and a picture of that one. It's like everywhere there was one in a frame. So it's like his brother Ryan was the only son, and they completely fabricated Mr. Blurry Picture Adam.
Wow.
I'm just telling you. And I'm never the conspiracy girl. I'm always like trying to make this or that fit or make sense. And, you know, with Vegas, it's like, well, I don't want to say you're wrong, but I don't really see it that way. And yeah. But it's like my one fact I will stick to and no one will ever change my mind is that kid didn't exist.
Wow.
So that was that. But you can't really talk about that stuff because then they'll zap your channels, you know? Hi, Chino. How are you? Oh, yes. That was another thing. The helicopter footage of them all going in circles. Yeah. I dissected that like crazy. And it's like they went in the building and out the building and back in the building and out the building. And there was also helicopter footage of CNN or whatever first on the scene of all these people being evacuated, and then later somebody like did an aerial of the SH school, and it's like that wasn't even the parking lot. The parking lot lines and circles and stuff didn't match. So this footage that they're showing on the news, this breaking news, school shooting and blah, 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 and all this footage, and everyone at home's going, oh my God, I need to give my kid a hug, and should I go take my kids out of school and stuff? And it's like, they weren't even flying over that school. They used old footage of something else. Or I don't know where they got it from, but it's like when you went and looked at the crime scene photos and the other helicopters that came later that day, it's like it was a whole different parking lot. It had nothing to do with that. It was like, a little school somewhere else. So yeah. Oh, in the corner. Yeah. You've got to go watch my video. I am going to put a link in here, but I don't want you guys to leave the chat to go watch it, but I'm going to find it and put the link in here. So if you guys grab it and bookmark it, it's going to take me a few minutes. Chris, you're going to have to it's going to take me a few minutes. But this documentary I have goes really in detail without me saying anything. I'm just showing pictures and showing footage to where it's and I've got interviews of the crying parents and stuff. So I'm not even really talking conspiracy in it. I'm just showing the stuff so you can make up your own mind. But okay, Chris, go ahead because I'm gonna hunt for it.
No, I was just wondering about this whole Brian Laundrie thing, man. And whether or not they both didn't get murdered by somebody because they found 8 more bodies out there. So it kind of makes me wonder.
Did you know about these other bodies before we started?
No. I mean, not until no.
I just noticed when I pulled up the Sandy Hook video that underneath my video they added this automatic thing. Newtown shooting of 2012, blah blah blah. And it's I don't have that in my description. So apparently, if you use the name SH,
they'll throw up a
and
little
slap some
Wikipedia
crap
thing.
on you.
Yeah, they will. They'll throw it down at the bottom, man. Even 911 or whatever. Yeah.
So I grabbed the link. Now I have to figure out how to get back in where you guys are. Got it. Okay. So this is the link. It's an hour and a half long. So watch it when you have time. Just grab that link and leave it in a bookmark or something, or come back to the chat and watch it later. But it's pretty interesting if you're into the SH, thing. But
I'm wondering.
I've got the footage in there.
Really,
DL too of them
he
chasing in
her.
the weeds. Do you think Brian killed Gabby?
I have no idea, man. I don't know. They could have been both killed by whoever else were. I don't know. Now that all that came to surface, it's kind of weird.
Well, yeah, and that thing. I mean, is everyone in chat? Did they hear that information? I'm going to read it again because I think we might have a couple people in here that weren't here.
Kind of puts a little spin on it, Hey, T and Matt.
Matt and Truth, and you are back.
How you doing?
What's up, man?
You guys, I had all that stuff pulled up because I just read it to you a few minutes ago, and it was supposed to be in my description. It disappeared. Okay, I found it again. Okay, I'm just going to read this for anyone in the chat that wasn't here before, because this is what Chris and Matt are going to talk about.
Chris.
Hi, Chris.
What's up, T?
Okay. From August through October 2021, the remains of 5 hikers/campers have been recovered in the Grand Teton National Park, and another hiker has been missing since June from the same area. Is there a connection? Now, people were talking about how many people get killed in national parks stuff. It's these people are all within a couple, we're talking 2 or 3 miles of each other. It's not like they're spread out in national parks all over the country. It's in a 2-month period, you got 5 dead and 1 missing. So we've got Kylen Schulte, who was last seen August 13th, and her remains were discovered August 18th. She was murdered by gunshots. Crystal Beck Turner was with her. They were newlyweds. So the same date, 8/13 to 8/18, this summer, shot to death and murdered gunshots. Then you've got Robert Lowrey, who disappeared on August 20th. So 2 days after they found the newlyweds. He disappears. This guy's got children, a good job, a family, and it's like his remains were found a month later on September 28th, and they were ruled his a suicide. But I think he could have been murdered, and since he was skin and bones because he'd been out there for 6 weeks, maybe they said suicide, they just weren't sure. Okay, then you've got Gabby Petito, who was reported missing September 11th, but we know she was dead long before that, and her remains were found 9/19, ruled strangulation. Then we have Jared Hembree, who was missing October 21st, 2021, and his remains were found today. Now, if you put him into this, we can't say Brian's the serial killer because Brian was already dead when that guy came up missing. His manner of death hasn't been released yet because they just found him today. Then we have Cian McLaughlin, which is a guy from Ireland who vanished on June 8th, and he's not been found yet. And her mom's all over the news going, find my kid, I want his body back. She knows he's going to be dead. He's been gone since June. And every one of these people's family and friends are like, no, they're not the type that would kill themselves. They wouldn't just, disappear because they wanted to run away from their problems or whatever. So at first, when there was a couple of these, we were thinking maybe Brian was a serial killer. Then we started seeing all these other things. And as the day went by, 2 more popped up. Jared happened today. And I found out when I was looking for Jared about this Cian McLaughlin guy who they haven't found yet. So when you look at all of this, it's like, I'm sorry, but there is just something wrong. So we have Truth in You, Matt, Chris. So you guys go ahead and talk.
All right. Well, the way I look at it is, if it smells funny, which it has smelled funny since the whole beginning, since I first seen this case. Smelled
I
funny
always
to
think
me.
everything smells funny at first, but it's like I dig in to try to prove that it's not wrong, and it's like I just can't do that with this one. I'm sorry. It's like it was like the SH. Like when there's so much glaring at you, I'm shaking my head, going, I don't know what to think.
Well, maybe it's
Jerome
an agenda
says
that we don't know.
that's just one hell of a coincidence, or there's really a connection. I wonder if they will use.
Yeah, like Gabby is connected to the SH. Think about that.
Now we know that. Yes.
Think that. Just go and look at that.
Her family is from New York, and you know that a lot of people that work in New York live in Connecticut, which is where Sandy Hook was. So they weren't that far away. I mean, a lot of people, because they don't want to be in the crowdedness of New York or whatever, you always hear people going to their vacation home in Connecticut, or they, instead of taking the train to work in New York, they just drive because they live in Connecticut or whatever. Or they take the train because, cars are too crowded in New York. So, yeah, it's very common for people in New York to hang out with people in Connecticut.
You got to look at the wide angle, and maybe it's not gun control. Maybe it's a psychological, evaluation of all humans. You know what I mean?
Miss Dawn was in earlier. She just thinks it's a distraction.
Hey,
it's a possibility too.
Possibility, bro. 100%.
Soap opera.
You know that, man. They'll always throw out, look at the monkey,
Right before
always
this happened.
Yep.
What was in the news is I had told Matt, because we weren't doing lives for a long, long time, and it was like nothing new was going on in Vegas. And it's like all that was going on is the Biden stuff and the COVID and the vaccines, and everyone was getting their channels taken down. So I'm like, that's all anybody's talking about. So like, I don't want to go live and talk about that stuff and get in trouble. So it's like when this Gabby thing hit the news, what was going on is that's when Biden was giving those speeches about we only have 50% of the country vaccinated, and I'm going to make a mandate that, you have to fire your employees if they don't get vaccinated. And he pulled all that crap, and then boom, Gabby was missing. And we've all been immersed in this, not really thinking about the
It's possible.
Distraction, man.
It's possible it's just a side story, like a soap opera that they can segue to, like exactly what happened after the Las Vegas shooting. So they could talk a lot about this subject. They could, and now it's ballooned into this thing where okay, the ladies involved in Sandy Hook. Now all these people are missing. The guy that was supposed to kill it this and that. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not getting
Okay.
too deep into this. So I was like, I got bigger fish to fry. This whole, what's in the shot deal and all that stuff that's going on. It's just crazy.
It's
So,
crazy
Well,
how
the
they
bad thing
found.
about the shot shit is I've got these hospital procedures coming up, and the lady called today to schedule them all, and it's like, guess what? I got to get COVID tested before I can get my shit.
I wouldn't
And
do it.
it's not like I
Ooh,
have to. I've got something wrong with my lung, so it's like I
ooh.
can't say, well, screw you.
Well,
I
there's
need
two
this
different
test.
kinds of.
It's a quick
Don't
I don't
get the
have a
test.
nose
choice.
test.
I have to go to the place they
No,
tell me
no,
to
no.
go.
You have a
whatever
choice.
they
You
have.
have a choice. You have a choice. Don't get the nose test.
I don't think they even
They've,
give the nose test
they've,
around me
they,
anymore.
well, just make sure it's going to be the saliva test. They're going to try it. If you're dumb, they're going to give it to you. You know what I mean? They want to get rid of the dumb people. That's what I found out about this thing.
With the nose
So if you're
test.
dumb, no
I
test.
think
Yeah, that'd be better.
I think they want to keep all the dumb people because they're easier to
No.
control, and they're
Well,
getting
They're
and
all
useless
of
eaters.
them.
that
Nope.
that is
They're
a
getting
good way
all
of
of
thinking.
them to go get vaccinated, and then they're going to drop the
That is-
real bug, and we're all going to die.
Well,
Okay, Joe.
they're rolling on
Uh,
the
We're the
third shot
troublemakers.
already. You know.
the whole thing is they're useless. They can't put anything to society. They don't create anything. They're not. They are wasted space in their eyes. You got to get in the mindset of the globalist. They're
But
taking up
they
too
need
much
them because they need
of their
somebody to run.
air, of their water, of their food. They're the first to go.
No, we're the
And
troublemakers. We're the first to go because they want them to be sheep.
uh,
They have to have someone to do the menial jobs they don't want to do.
Well,
If they
no,
have
they
to
got
wipe
you would
out
robots for
half
that.
the
They don't even need them.
population,
well, you would think that they would get rid of the undesirables, the troublemakers and
that's
stuff
us.
like that.
The people that are
You
pushing
yeah,
all the
but
crap.
it's a lot weirder, man.
This is the low hanging fruit.
They are going to
The low
vaccinate
hanging
all
fruit.
of them, and they're going to drop the germ bomb on us with something else. Like they're saying, the vaccines
Man,
don't
the
work.
next
They're catching
all
COVID because that
we'll be
vaccine is
lucky.
for the next germ that they're going to release.
Yeah, oh shit.
You know what I'm saying?
Says, but they're
Yeah.
quarantining
I don't.
medicine-dependent citizens. You're right. They're saying, oh,
I,
you're going to need a booster, then you might need a booster after that. It's like, now this is big money to once you have
When
it.
will that end? Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah.
when they all die.
Making money.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, this whole thing. I don't think like you. So which is why we kind of got along in the past. I really don't.
I think we might
I
agree
look.
on this case because this is just weird.
I do. It's too weird and it seemed too Hollywood. And now we know there's actors involved because of the hook and.
See, I never knew that about Gabby was even like
Well,
that's
you can't
fucking
really say
nuts.
she's an
That's
actress.
nuts.
The lady that wrote the song collected up friends that had kids and this next. She just needed some kids for this music video. So the lady did it as a tribute to Sandy Hook and like to sell her music. And Gabby and her brothers, I don't know if this lady knew her mom or however the kids got in it. So technically that doesn't mean she's an actor.
Yeah,
but
you're
I
right.
bet if you
You're right,
dug
yeah.
enough, I will bet you that Gabby's probably was in some pageants and did some tryouts for some commercials when we were little, because that girl thrived the spotlight. You can tell with her Instagram and all that.
Yeah.
100%.
So the way I look at it when it comes to the vax is, they're trying one of 6 things. Okay.
We can't really talk about that because I don't want to lose my channel.
Oh yeah, I'm
That's
sorry.
why Matt and I completely avoided the politics and the talk about that because I didn't want the channel to go down. And they also, if they flag you talking about the SH, they'll nail your channel too. So we have to go back to the Gabby case and leave the other part out of it, even though I know we're all thinking the same thing.
Exactly.
Well, I'm kind of used to losing them.
I know you are used to losing them, but the thing is, it's like I've got so many videos on mine now, and I've got so many subs that it's like if they take my channel, I can never start over. It's like your channel. It's like once you had your channel built up with all those people, and you've had to make new channels, it's like you never quite collect all those people back because some of them don't know.
No,
where to
you
find
don't. I mean,
Yeah.
the
It's like
the
once you
first
lose it, you're
channel,
out.
the first channel had like pretty much everybody on it, you know, in the community, cookish community, and
Cough, cough. Yeah.
yeah, well, you know. And then the second channel, you know, was a little less, and I built that up to about 400, and they took that, and I'm like,
Yeah, Matt says, let's just stick to the subject. Let's get back to the Gabby Bryan thing and all those missing people. Somebody make this make sense for me.
Well, let's look for an agenda that fits this, because that's all it is. That's where I have it now. So
I don't see an agenda.
They found him in water. They found him in water, correct? And that's why that they're delaying the fact. I mean, what did he die of?
They say that it was flooded and they couldn't search.
Yeah.
And the guy goes on the news and he's like, chest high water. Well, then the day after they find him, or 2 days later, the public's allowed back in the park. So I've got video. I posted a video yesterday, or the day before, of these people that they're interviewing that live around there that are back there, and they're like, you don't see the water lines on the trees, the grass. I mean, we'd be sinking in the mush. A week ago, this thing was submerged. So they're like, maybe it rained a lot and it was ankle high. And so he's interviewing these two people that are from that area, and they're like, we didn't have that much rain. And then I'm sitting there thinking, I'm watching the live feeds from in front of these people's houses, and it's like, I don't remember every single day for a month of these people being out there and with umbrellas. It's like they were out in the bright sunshine filming the laundry. So it's like, when exactly did all this torrential rain that was chest high happen? So it's like, exactly. I don't think that he was floating underneath the swamp, and that's why they couldn't find him. I think they were incompetent because all day today, the lawyer and the cops are.
Well, even after it is suspect. It's very suspect that you know they found him so quickly. But I mean, was he underwater that long to where they can't determine?
Every piece of him is bones. All they got is a head fragment that they could match dental records to, and a couple other small bones. They don't know where the rest of them is.
I heard it. They reckon from
blood or whatever.
Some shit. Yeah. Wow.
Sienna, we talked in the beginning about the lawyer and the cops backpedaling and finger pointing and all that. Yeah, we talked about all that in the beginning. No, when they went walking through there a couple days ago, it was not muddy. And the two neighbors or, you know, local people that they interviewed were like, we didn't have that much rain. There's no way it was chest high. So the video I had about it, I actually have the clip of the guy giving the press conference going, chest high water. And he's like pointing up at his chest. And then right after that is these two little interviews of these little people saying no. Never.
Well, I mean, it takes a good minute, man, for a body in water to completely dissolve, or you know,
everything's gone but the couple of bones they found. And his parents, the guy
how convenient.
Like $1.5 million is spent searching for the guy.
And she found him in waist high water. Come on, man.
Mom and dad go in there, and in a 15-minute walk, it took less than 30 minutes. And
Dog the bounty hunter has been looking.
Backpack. Dog the bounty hunter was looking in Fort
Yeah, and they're like, no, here he is.
This guy's right down the street from his house, and his parents just happened to find him. And my point is with the parents is it's like, if your kid is missing, are you going to stay locked up in your house, or are you going to be bitching at the cops every day? You're not doing enough. You're on the news going, please, somebody find my son. I'm so worried. He's been gone for so long. And it's like,
show some kind of, emotion, man. I mean, yeah. It's very weird. It's very weird.
Oh, the body cam discerning light. Yes. The officers are all being investigated. That Moab, Utah pullover body cam. The police chief has resigned, and those cops are all being investigated by internal affairs. They screwed up. If they had handled the way they were supposed to handle it,
they messed up pretty bad.
In all states, they have the law. If there's domestic violence, one of them has to go to jail. And those cops let those two backpedal and talk their way out of it.
In a motel room.
She's dead. Yeah. Take him to a hotel. They got some shelter.
I'm
that you don't have
sorry.
the
I
money
don't mean
for,
to laugh,
and
but yeah.
let her go. But yeah, if they had taken one of them
Mhm.
to jail and pressed charges, and they had called their parents to get them bailed out, they wouldn't have still been on that camping trip together, and he wouldn't have had the opportunity to kill her.
I think that's where it all went downhill after that. You know?
All
If
right,
my
the other
kid,
people that
Shay's
died.
talking in the chat. I agree. If my kid, like, the parents found the backpack and stuff, and then they come out and they tell the FBI guy, and they're having a little secret conversation. Well, the
Did they
FBI guy's
plan?
telling her, well, we found some bones over here. Any mother with a soul would have dropped to her
Yeah.
knees. You'd need to drag him out of there on a stretcher. And there was no reaction, whatever. They're just standing there chit-chatting like they're getting their mail, talking to the neighbor. And it's like, seriously? Then they leave to go grieve. They came back today. They're like in Orlando with Cassie. Cassie was on vacation at Disney World with her kids. And I don't know where the parents went, but they went to meet Cassie so they could all grieve together. And then they came home today.
Go grieve at Disneyland.
So it's like,
That's
you're going to
great.
go off and grieve instead of standing there over somebody's throat. Well, the cops and the lawyers are fighting back and forth. I'd be like, I want answers. I want to know why you didn't find my kid. And now I can't have a funeral and bury him properly because God knows what animals ate him. And he rotted, and all you can find is a couple bones because coyotes or whatever scattered him around. Whatever happened to him happened. But it's been so long that he was gone, they have nothing left. And Gabby's kind of the same way because Brian's family didn't report that she was missing, and they kept a secret for all those weeks from her parents. By the time they found her, there was nothing left. So it's like, I
Yeah.
was screaming to the police department, someone needs to do something. And instead they go off with their daughter, Cassie.
It is very
So-
weird behavior from them, you know? Very weird.
Yeah, Jerome, I'm just like you. It's like I've been following this since the very beginning, and every day I'm digging, and it's like I hope we don't get to the conclusion that this is another one of those crisis actor situations, but it's like there's just too much weirdness to this. And then you've got all these other dead people, so it's like there is a serial killer loose, and there's no panic over in Grand Teton. I'm reading all these articles, and it's like there's no panic. The only one making any noise at all is the mother of the guy that's still missing. Because she's like, we're from Ireland. We're running out of money. We need our kid. Find him. She knows it's going to be
That's
a funeral,
crazy.
but she's the only one making any noise. And I'm like, why aren't all these other cops out there searching and hunting? Apparently, there's a serial killer running loose in your woods. They're all with
Killing
rifles
everybody.
at each other. They're not putting up notices and signs for campers. This campground's closed until we catch this person, or put
Michael
extra
Myers is out
rangers
there.
on duty to protect the campers. It's like nobody's
bro.
doing anything.
Exactly.
We lost
He
Matt.
strangles people. He shoots them.
No, Jerome.
Yeah.
The coroner
Never
gave
know,
a
man.
speech today, and people have been saying that he got fired, but it's like I don't believe he would have given a speech today. So I have a feeling that the getting fired part is probably just more rumors going around, because I don't know why they would have allowed him to give a speech.
Secret.
Oh, he's still the coroner, but his hospital practice is no more. Okay. What Truth in You?
All right. So, do we have multiple pictures of the deceased that's not Gabby or the boy? I forget his name.
No,
We have no
Brian.
dead pictures of anybody. Is that what you're asking, or are you talking about?
So we could examine the pictures of themselves.
Okay, all of these people.
Because if it's an operation.
Yeah, I've dug a little bit into these people, and it's like there's tons of pictures, different pictures. They're not like a case like Adam Lanza or Paddock, where there's just the one blurry picture that's photoshopped. It's like they appear to be real. So they either upped their game and figured out we knew how to tell the fake ones, or they're real people. But I mean, it's like the one guy had children, and you can find stuff, and it's people he went to high school with talking, and you go to their Facebook pages and snoop around, and it's like these appear to all be real people that left a digital footprint. They aren't just imaginary people that just showed up out of nowhere, like Adam Lanza. So Matt, you're not coming back on?
Crazy.
His computer's giving him trouble.
From a guy
Well,
that had a computer through Obama talking crap, through Las Vegas shooting and Sandy Smoke and everything else talking crap, I highly suggest C Cleaner. C Cleaner, yeah, because it gets rid of all my stuff, and I'm able to keep 20, 40, 60 tabs up, and yeah.
I had to go
Oh,
crash down
I
and get
get
a
off
cheap
Google
Tech,
Windows
too.
man.
laptop because my other computer, I've got my computer from 2007 and it just won't do internet and updates and all that crap anymore. So it's like I had to break down and get another one.
Hey T,
No,
I'm still
well,
on
he didn't mean the
Windows
remains.
7.
He meant the humans.
yeah. Hey T, man, I crapped out on you, man. Last night, I think it was
Yeah, I know.
live
You
stream.
had
Yeah,
company. I
dude.
looked
Well,
at
but
it.
no, man, my bad, my iPad ran out of juice, so I went to
Oh,
bed.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
It's okay. I just watch videos anyhow.
Exactly, man.
Matt's not coming back on because his computer took a crap.
Uh-oh.
It's just giving him problems. So we had problems. I don't know if you guys were here at the beginning of the stream, but like me and Matt hit go live on the StreamYards,
Mm-hmm.
and YouTube wasn't clicking on. It still was saying waiting. Then people were typing stuff in the chat, and some of them were saying they could hear me and Matt talking, and then there were some of them that we couldn't see their comments, and we kept all refreshing and doing all this weird shit. So it was kind of spooky weird.
Yeah.
I
When
had
I jumped
two
on,
phones going from different channels, and it's like one of them I could see it, and the other one was not, and it was weird.
yeah, there was something in the chat really weird before. Whenever I first clicked on it, you couldn't. The chat was like empty. It's nobody. But then all of a sudden, get
Stuff
blown up.
popped in.
Exactly. Yep. YouTube's being weird again, man.
Kathy, I'm not sure if we're being censored or not. It was just weird because it wouldn't kick on, and we had all those people waiting. Then I was like, well, I could close this one down and start another one, but then when you do that, you lose half your people. So, all right, Shay, they waited over a month for an ID. That boy laid in the morgue for a month while they had his mother's DNS and dental records she provided. They didn't use any of it and got their own dental. I don't know who you're talking about.
Probably the bones.
I don't know what boy laid in a morgue for a month. It hasn't been a month since Brian was found. So she's talking about something else.
It's so damn crazy, man. That they don't know how he passed away just because he was in knee deep water, man. That's kind of suspicious.
Alligators and coyotes and bugs.
Well,
and
I know. There's a whole lot of stuff out there, man.
I was researching yesterday because I had that same question. I was trying to figure out how quick a body could be devoured, and I know this is gross, but I started hunting for vulture videos, and there was a video where literally its title was 60 seconds and gone. They literally, it was a dead deer, so it wasn't a human, but I mean, they're about the same size mass, okay? Literally 60 seconds, this thing, and you're watching it live on video. And it's like, that thing was picked clean, nothing left but bones. I mean, not a
gone in a
scratch.
heartbeat, man. Yeah.
But then my theory on that, though, is if vultures and stuff got Brian, it's like, there's all these cops and everyone out there doing a search. Do you not think they would have noticed this circling group of birds up there? And
man,
say, hey,
it's not like it's
go look over there.
It's not like it's a fucking lake or anything. I mean, it was just knee deep water.
They had dive teams anyways. Well, the cops said it was chest deep, but the other witnesses are saying we didn't have the rain and we're not getting wet today.
Yeah.
So no way. So
That's
even
weird.
if it was deep, they had dive teams there, and you would notice a circle of vultures. I found out yesterday that actually has a name.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember what it was. It has a weird name. But yeah, so they didn't even notice animals circling, and they kept blaming it on maybe alligators and stuff. And one of the local people that was talking in a video was like, this section over here is not alligator territory. They're full of crap. They're like, that's like in the weeds where the cattails are and all that stuff. They're like, this is like forest and woods. And nothing looked like it had been immersed underwater for a month. And the parents found them in like less than
How the
less
hell
than
did
an
they
hour.
find that? I mean,
They
everybody
went
been out there
right
searching, bro, and then all of a sudden they come up and they're like, "Oh,
Well,
look here, the
their
backpack."
lawyer is complaining to the cops now, saying, "Why didn't you find this boy if the parents could find him so quick?" So my point is, why did the parents stay hidden in their house instead of getting off their ass and going to find them? And so the
If they-
lawyer is speaking for the parents. So then the lawyer's saying it was closed to the public, the parents couldn't go. And I about dropped out of my chair because I'm like, if my kid's missing, there's not a cop in hell that's going to not take me if I think I can help them. They always let the mom and dad go, even if they close to the public.
Yeah.
So this has
Yep.
just been a zoo, a total zoo.
It's messed up, man. It's
Well, Ronnie's
a
saying
very,
she thinks
very
these hang from a
crazy
tree. They
case, man.
found a rope in there, but the cops wouldn't take it for evidence. It's still hanging in there. And they didn't take the rope to check it for DNA. So it's like these cops are like not doing their job and they're getting caught. All
Barney
these
Fife.
social media people.
Barney Fife. Yep.
I don't even think they're Barney Fife in it. It's like, I think they know what the deal is and they're just going with the flow and they don't realize how much trouble social media is causing them. Because there's people that are camped out in front of that house and going
That's
in those woods
crazy
and
too,
stuff.
man.
And it's
Yeah.
like, they're like yesterday someone found a water bottle that's really a strange looking water bottle that is in the van life video, and it's also in a photograph that Gabby's got it like on a thing hooked to her hip. So the people like call the police and the police come. They're like, what trail do we need to go on? They're like, it's right by where they found the book bag and the body. The cops are like, well, where's that? So they had to take the cops back there. And then the cops are like, oh, that's nothing. And the people are on video. I'm seeing this live. Aren't you going to take it? No, we don't need that. So the girl got so upset, she collected up bones in this bottle and took them to the police department and filed a police report. She like wanted to file a report on the cops that came out and didn't do crap. Well, whoever she talked to, then they took her serious and they bagged it up for evidence and they're going to check it and check the bones and do all this stuff. So yeah, if this social media girl hadn't gone out there snooping around and then she
you would
calls
never
the cops
known.
and they aren't going to do anything. Yeah. I mean,
Yep.
his bones are out there scattered all over. It's like people are going to be finding them for a long time. Hey, Bear.
Exactly.
Brian's parents run a juicer company. I don't know if they sell the machines or if they just service them, but it has something to do with like juice, like vegetable fruit, juice you would drink. So their company's called Juice or something or other. I looked it up and dug into it, and I just can't remember exactly what it's called, but I found their business records, they're where they register for their license and stuff. So yeah, it's Juice or something or other. And his dad is not a dentist. That is a rumor floating around, and the rumor is that his uncle is a dentist, and I haven't been able to verify that. But the rumor going around social media isn't that his dad's a dentist, it's that the uncle is. And if the uncle is, which I haven't been able to figure out, it's just a rumor so far, but the only way they identified him, they haven't done DNA on any of the bones, he was only identified through dental records. So if a relative of his is a dentist, now we got a problem. And the parents on that one day, a couple days before they found him, or the day before, don't forget they went off to the AT&T store that wasn't open. They're all getting filmed by the social media people. They mailed a box at FedEx, and they went shopping at Walmart. So everyone's going, what was in the box? What did they not want the cops to have that they mailed to some relative? And I'm like, did it have anything to do with the relative that's a dentist? I mean, it's like something is just weird. And a lot of the stuff's rumors, but then a couple days later you find out, well, that rumor panned out and it's true. So right now I do not know. I've heard the dentist rumor. His dad is definitely not a dentist, but it's one of his uncles that they're saying is the dentist.
It's weird how they don't know.
Olivia and
there's
Andrea
no...
were the ones that were out there finding doing the water bottle search with Jonathan and stuff. Those guys are all kind of working together.
Well, we'll know if this is a government thing because they usually leave a stay behind network of people just waiting for a court case to get a whole bunch of money.
We haven't got attacked yet either. And usually when it's something that's fishy, the social engineers start coming into our chat rooms and attacking us. It's like we haven't drawn any attention yet. So it's like nobody's wanting to shut us up. We're just all
Well,
kind of
yeah,
scratching our heads
you
going,
haven't
what the
gone
heck?
full on nutter yet either.
Well, we don't need to go full on nutter. We're just sitting back watching the people that are videoing stuff and the cops
Straight
and
up
the lawyers
reactions,
fighting.
man.
So it's
Yeah,
like
exactly.
there's not even any nutting for us to do. It's just like I'm just sitting back watching the show, and it's like,
Well, let me start.
Go ahead, T.
All right. I look at it as like if it's not a government
the
operation,
movie section.
yeah,
That is so hilarious. Yes. What's in the box? What's in the box?
Everything wouldn't look this way. You know, they're really terrible at these operations, by the way. And they usually, you know, at this point, if it looks like a duck, I'm gonna call it a duck. I don't care. You know what I mean?
This is the thing, though. It does. It's a duck. I'm just gonna say it.
It looks like a duck to me.
Well, but the problem is, Truth in You, is we're not sure what breed of a duck it is. That's the problem.
It could be Daffy. It could be Donald, but it's a duck.
Right. We can all see that it's clearly a duck. There's not one person arguing that this thing's not messed up, but we can't figure out, like, what kind of a duck is it? Is it like
did somebody kill them two motherfuckers, man?
You know, did someone kill her and Brian both because they witnessed something?
You know,
did the parents get in a fight and kill him? It's like, what the heck happened to Brian and Gabby?
Were they hiding
I'm not
him?
even so convinced that Brian was the murderer now that I found all these other kills.
Well, I don't even know if he wasn't at the house, man. You know, and they were hiding him. You know, he wasn't out in the river or the.
Well, the story came out today. The cop that said we know exactly where he is. The story came out today that the cops are backpedaling because they got like their fingers shook by the lawyer. So now the cops are saying the day the mother picked up the car from the reserve because it got a report written up on it, she was wearing a baseball hat. And the officers thought that was Brian coming home in the car. And since she never left the house again, they assumed Brian was in the house. This is the cover story the cops come up with today. And my jaw's dropping, and I'm like, you mean to tell me those parents for an entire month didn't call the cops and say, what are you doing to find our son and what can we do to help you? Yeah. They just hid in their house and never called the cops. And the cops the whole time just assumed Brian was in the house with his mom and dad.
Yeah, like, okay, go find our kids, whatever. Man, that's,
I mean, that's the best way I could do it without, you know, totally blowing out this live stream and totally taking it out. You know what I mean? That's all I can say. I mean, if you know, we got government interference, possibly, or what is this?
The feds haven't said anything. It's all been local cops. The feds are over in Denver doing their investigating thing over there about Gabby, but it's like you're not hearing a whole lot of fed stuff over here. It's like the Northport Mayberry police are just the lawyer said that about me and I'm gonna come out and defend myself. And there's like all day today it's been like baby bitch slapping going on between the Laundries and the Northport police. And I'm just watching it and it's like they're showing like interviews of different things. The public information officer, Josh, has been like giving the speeches for the police all through this whole scenario. So people are now on social media posting clips of stuff Josh said that now it's been proven not to be. So he's on there making speeches to apologize and cover his butt for giving wrong information. And it was my understanding this and that. And I'm just like, this is a way worse than the Lombardo Rouse lie. I mean, this is like they're actually admitting that they lied and making up excuses for it. And Laundrie's lawyer is just whacking them left and right. So now they're whacking him back. And this has been like a shit show today. And part of
that's you said it. It's a shit show.
Shit show, man.
Okay. No, listen.
Show.
What is this shit show diverting us from?
We can't talk about that because I don't want to lose my channel.
I know.
So instead of talking about what they're distracting us for, we need to figure out what happened. What is this?
Well, we could call it in code. You know, we could. We can talk about things. We just have to have it in code, you know.
What we know about Brian Shea is that he was an artist. He had a website called Bizarre Designs. He had a bunch of tattoos. He helped his parents at the juicer company, and at one point he worked at Publix. And it's like They met in high school, they dated, they got engaged, they moved to Florida. So pretty much that's Brian in a nutshell. A couple of his friends were like, he's nice, he's normal. We would never expect him to do this or that. So there's not like
So
any
I mean,
truth that
do you really? I mean, I'm kind of questioning whether or not he like strangled her or had anything to do with her.
Well, now that I'm
her
finding all
passing,
these
bro.
other
You know?
murders, I'm
Yeah.
starting to think maybe he came back from, a hike and found her dead.
Yeah.
And it's like, shit,
Found
since we
it,
got
man.
pulled over from the
Because
cops last week, I'm going to get blamed. So he
Yeah,
went on the
seems-
run. And he might have told his
seems-
parents, look, I didn't kill her, but she's dead.
Yeah.
So they're just keeping their mouth shut. And
Yep.
I'm not so certain that he's the murderer anymore now that all these other murders have popped up.
I know, man. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Makes you
wouldn't
look at it
want
a
my
little
dead
different.
son to go down in history as the person that killed Gabby Petito. If he
No,
didn't
nobody
really do it.
would, man. I mean, not even a son
You don't want
sent
that to
in
be your son's
prison
legacy.
or anything, man. You know? Yeah, you don't want that.
But since both kids were, scrapped down to the bone, they aren't going to really know.
It's tough.
I don't even know how the coroner could honestly be telling you how Gabby died. She must have still had some skin on her, but Brian was picked clean. And I hate to sound so gross, but it's like they just found a couple skeletal remains of him.
You're all good. Yeah.
And Gabby'd been laying out there a month and they didn't have much on her. And then when that happened, I did a bunch of research, like how fast does a body decompose in these weather conditions and blah, 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 blah. And along the lines of my research, I found out that there are 7 body farms in the United States.
Yeah, I remember
you can donate your body when you die to the body farm. And it's scientists and universities and doctors and anthropologists that put you out in different weather conditions and watch you decompose and document it. Because then it helps when real murders happen. And this was gross. I'm going, how does YouTube take down a little tiny video of someone with a bloody nose as hate speech and violence when these body farm videos are all over YouTube? I was finding them a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, I was fascinated,
I'm on my
but I was
second
like, this
strike.
is gross.
You know? Yeah. I
You
mean,
can't let anything bad happen.
I know. But it's crazy what they let pass through. And like I said, man, it's weird, dude.
And Bear, that's the thing. I don't know why this case blew up. There are missing people all over the country. People that have been missing, murdered, everything. It's like, why this one that grabbed the media's attention and has all of us like enthralled in it? And they've just kept adding. I mean, Dr. Phil shows up. Dog the Bounty Hunter shows up. The Sandy Hook video shows up. Oh, here's body cam from the police. Yeah. And then she's got all of her stuff posted with dates on Instagram. And oh, here shows up, John Walsh from America's Most Wanted. And it's like, this thing has grabbed the attention of everything. And it's like, I don't watch the news on TV, so I don't know if it's actually on the news. But as far as social media goes, this is like gripped tons of people. Oh, exactly, Jerome. The Reddit stuff. I go look at those. And like I said, I take that stuff with a grain of salt. Like if I get information, I go dig it myself to see if I come to the same conclusion, because I don't want to just at face value say, oh, this is a fact because I read it on Reddit. But yeah, all these things that are coming out keep being proven true. Like the rumor going right now about the uncle being a dentist. Someone's going to dig up proof on that, and it's like it's going to end up being true. Because there hasn't been too much fake stuff. People will say stuff and they'll be like, that's not verified, that's fake, that's this, that's that. But then proof will come out a couple days later, and the cops keep admitting to shit. All this stuff people on social media are saying, that's wrong, that's not possible, they're lying. They're just coming right out and admitting it because the other lawyer's attacking them. So really, like I said, you can just sit there and watch all day. It's like a tennis match. It's like you have a cat with a ball that he's bopping back and forth, and it's just, and that's what Shay says. I wonder if all the scripts were written in a script. I would not want to be one of those cops and have, like, say that was your dad, and you had to go to the local school, and all these people are going, your dad's a real idiot. I would be like, Dad, get another job. Don't go along with this stupid stuff. A kid could write a better script than what they came up with for this. And I'm not so sure Brian's the killer now that I know about all these other murders.
Man, that makes me question a whole lot. You know,
Mhm.
were they murdered separately?
Well,
You know,
I knew about the
or
newlyweds.
did he strangle her? I mean, and also with all the the gunshot people. I mean, the other
Well,
people.
now I'm going to add something else here you might not know. If you were on Reddit, you'd know, but and
I'm
I
not on
verified
Reddit,
this.
man.
I know, I did
Yeah,
verify this. Like I said, I always go
I'm
verify
not.
it. The police are in possession
Yeah.
of a gun that was found at the
Hmm.
bottom of a lake. And guess where? The campground that Cassie and the mom and dad and Brian went to. When they came
Okay.
home on the 1st. So they have now, a guy was fishing and hooked this gun that's all wrapped up in tape and shit. Hooks this gun, calls the police. Now they have it in their possession and they're processing it.
Huh.
But this isn't
Okay.
where all those murders in Wyoming was. This is here in Florida where Brian was found. So who knows if this gun's even attached to anything? It could be from a murder 100
No
years
shit.
ago. But it's at
Exactly.
the same
No
campground
shit.
they went camping at. So
But
it's like,
what a
here's
coinky
another
dink.
one on the list.
You know?
Get the chalkboard. There's another tick.
What a
Yeah.
coinky dink. Okay.
I'm wondering if they were murdered. Yes. Or like Bear just said, did he see her get murdered by someone else and then he knew he'd be blamed? That's what I'm wondering. There
Yeah,
was a
or got
serial
run
killer
down,
running around.
you know?
Was the guy? We've been making fun of him and his parents for a month. That murder,
And they've been sitting outside of his house, and man,
yeah, and
yeah.
maybe he didn't do it at all.
Maybe
He's
he
the
had nothing to
serial
do
killer
with
in
it,
the
bro.
weeds to it.
They both got took out. It's crazy.
Well,
I mean,
this is the thing.
but
When you look at the dates, Jared, who they found today, he didn't go missing till October 21st. He was only missing 4 days, and they found his body today. So it's like Brian didn't have anything to do with that. Brian was already dead, you know?
yeah.
So it's like, I can't blame him for him. And then Cian McLaughlin, who disappeared, shut up, June 8th, hasn't been found yet. But Brian and Gabby hadn't even left New York yet. So it's like, we can't blame Brian for that one. And then you've got 3 other ones on top of Gabby. So it's like, Brian can't be the serial killer and have killed all these people because one of them's missing before he went on his vacation, and Brian was already dead for the other one. So at first I thought Brian killed those newlyweds and Gabby saw it and got mad at him, so he had to kill her to shut her up. And I had all these scenarios going on in my head until I found out about these other people. When they found the dead guy today, and then the other guy that's been missing till June, I just found that by accident when I was looking for him. And then you show in Robert, who was
killing
ruled a
grounds.
suicide. Yes, Robert was ruled a suicide by gunshot, but he fits right in there with the newlywed. So it's like, maybe that coroner was wrong, and maybe he was murdered and didn't shoot himself in the head. I mean, both of the ladies were shot to death. So it's like, there's a serial killer running loose in a couple mile radius. And all these people keep saying, oh, but there's, these things happen in national parks all over. And it's like, yeah, but 6 of them in a couple of months.
But I mean, like, it's like
area?
Moab is a dumping ground, you know? I mean, but that's crazy, man.
It's just weird. And it makes me feel bad for everyone that blamed Brian. And maybe Brian is a murderer. A couple days ago, I thought he was
in a way, it does, man, because you don't know if he killed her or not, man. Maybe they were both compromised, and she took off running and, got caught, and then he kept going, maybe got caught. I don't know, man. It kind of puts a little spin on it, man, from that. Them not being able to verify.
Well, and discerning light, I'm wondering the same thing. Like, was this all for a movie? This is going to be the Hollywood blockbuster of the century if they put all of this together. And the cops aren't talking about all these other murderers. It's like every day stuff happens so fast. Matt will call and I'll be like, I've got like a ton of windows open on my computer. And then Ronnie will start texting me and I'm like, I'm trying to follow this. I don't have time to veer off and go down that rabbit hole. And stuff is just like happening so fast you can barely keep up. And then if you want to fact check the stuff you're finding, then you're like going here and going there, and I've got notes all over the floor and people emailing me stuff, and it's just crazy that this is just it's like a movie. It's weird.
It's very weird. You said it.
Yes,
You
they
know?
found the gun at Fort DeSoto, which is where Brian's family went camping. And the gun was in the water. A fisherman caught it on his line. And that could just be a completely coincident, not related. But usually if somebody dumps a gun in a lake, that gun's going to be linked to some unsolved crime, even if it has nothing to do with Brian.
Oh, yeah. You can tell by the bore.
I
of
mean,
it.
a regular
Yeah,
person
yeah.
doesn't just dump their gun in the lake.
No, not unless it's a throwaway gun.
Right.
You
If you
know?
were a regular, normal person, you dropped your gun off
Yeah,
your
you
boat, you
wouldn't
would go
just throw
tell the
your
cops because you wouldn't
you
want
wouldn't
some
just throw
kids
your
to be
gun
swimming
out.
and find the gun and get
No.
shot. So it's like the only
Yeah.
one, like you said, a throwaway.
Yeah, exactly. A burner.
Yeah. No Truth in You. We do not have proof of death. We do not have any death of body video or anything showing actual evidence that anybody was murdered. It's what the cops say and what we're being told. Yes. But I do believe people are dying. I think there's a serial killer loose out there.
Somebody's killing a whole bunch of people, man, and it's weird that they found that many people while looking for Gabby. You know, and I don't know. I guess
Exactly, Bear. Exactly. I'm looking at this. Okay. The parents, even if he wasn't the murderer, knew their son was going to get blamed. So since they got a little bit of money and some connections, they ship him off somewhere. Okay. The one uncle used to own a yacht leasing company. Okay. So these people know people that got connections. And he's in Florida, so you can get to all these other countries. Get him somewhere where they don't extradite. Maybe he has to go to this country, get on another boat, go there. But he's had plenty of time. I mean, he's had a month and a half almost. So the parents get him hidden somewhere. Then in order to get the cops off his scent, they go plant the backpack. See, the original story from the cops was that Fox News followed the dad into the woods. So there's no way the dad could have planted it. But I have a video posted that I pulled stuff off social media, and Fox News went with them down the trail. And then the mom stayed outside the trail, and the dad went in. And Fox is out there by where the mom is. And then lo and behold, the dad comes out with the shit he found. So it's like, you know, the cops kept saying, no, the dad couldn't have planted it because the news was there. And it's like, I just watched the video. It's on my channel over and over.
How
and
the
over.
hell
The news
did they
did not
find
follow
him
down
that
trail.
quick? How did they
Well,
find
because
him
if they
that quick?
stashed their kids somewhere, the parents just had their stuff
but
in
I
the
mean,
bag they were going to plant.
That's.
I mean, I'm not saying that's what they did, but
No,
definitely the news
hypothetically
did not prove
speaking,
that he
man,
didn't plant anything. He went back there alone and came out with the bag.
Yep.
Yeah, I've heard two people say that now, that it's an ancient burial ground. Unless you said it earlier, and I'm just seeing yours again. The parents are very strict.
Is it?
But if my son didn't do it and everyone in the world was accusing him of
Well,
that,
they were very
the people outside
lackadaisical
their
when it
door
came
have been
to
really rude to
him
them.
missing. You know, they didn't give a fuck. You know, him
Most
missing.
missing
You know,
parents are on the news going, please, son,
yeah,
turn yourself in. We love you. We'll help you. You know, I mean, they didn't do anything. But a lot of
that
people,
was
like
weird.
Watts, didn't either, you know? He
Red
was
flag.
like, oh, I want someone to find my wife. And it's like the whole time he was the killer.
Yeah. Well, it all is weird. It's very weird.
Well, Truth in You saying that he's learned over the years that they overdo it because they think everybody's stupid. Nobody's even having to be stupid. We're just sitting here watching the cop and the lawyer spill the beans. So it's like, I'm just waiting to see how this movie ends. It's not like I even feel like I need to do any deep research. Other than today, I just got the names and dates of these people and verified they were really missing and that they were real people and stuff. But it's like, I'm just waiting for them to get to the end of the story. Nothing surprises me. Nothing. Yep, they walked directly to the spot. The mom walked to the left and the dad went right and came out with the stuff. Yep. And they kept saying,
crazy,
Fox
man.
News filmed him.
Yeah.
It's like, Fox News filmed that mom standing there and that dad going into those weeds alone and coming out with crap.
how the hell, man? I mean, people have been searching for a hot minute, man. And
Right.
then all
Well,
of a
and then
sudden,
the mom doesn't drop to her knees. If the dad comes out saying, "Guess what? I got Brian's bag
Yeah.
and book," that mom would
Yeah.
have dropped to her knees like, "Not
Yeah,
my
and
book."
been devastated, bro.
Or she would have been
Yeah.
like, "Finally, we found him, and we can put this,
All
after
the
a kid's
rest,
been
you
missing
know?
for enough time,
Fuck
you can
yeah.
assume they're dead,
Yeah.
and you just want to have a funeral and, get your grieve on where you're not
Mhm.
hanging in limbo." So she didn't even
Yeah.
have that kind of a look. It was just like
Nothing.
like he came out and found a pencil,
Yeah, exactly. No, man.
Well, another weird thing is they found it on the one day, but the remains weren't confirmed to be his yet. They just, so technically say a couple bones were found, which might be common in the woods, and the bag and stuff. So the next day or later that day, there's this funeral lady all dressed in black and crap that goes into their house. And it was the day after that the FBI went and knocked on their door and notified them.
Hey,
And
I
I've got
saw
video of
something
this.
about
That's your
that.
son.
Yeah.
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 You probably saw, I've had two different videos
Yep.
that have had the lady in
Yeah,
black.
well, what was up with that? I mean, do you think that was
We
somebody
don't
like
know, but I'm like, they didn't know
consoling
their son
the?
was dead yet, because the next day we've got video of the FBI going to their door to notifying them. Then the FBI puts out an official statement saying that
Mhm.
the remains are confirmed to be Brian's. So it's like, day before that, funeral lady's at the house. Was this like their cousin or some relative? I
That's
mean, this lady
crazy.
was all
I
dressed
saw
from head
that.
to toe
Yeah.
in black with the hat and the whole
Yeah.
looking like a funeral thing. And it's just
Mhm.
like, I don't know who that was, but how would she know he was dead the day before? Or maybe Mrs. Laundry just has a friend that dresses like that, but it's like the mom and dad are always in
But
shorts
who
and
dresses
ball caps.
like that? I mean, yeah.
A goth person or going to a funeral. I mean, I wear a lot of black and stuff, but I
I like
wouldn't
black,
be
but
like
but
going to a
not.
murderer's house all dressed like that. It's like, I think they knew it was him because they already knew he was dead, and that's how they went to the spot. It's like they sat back waiting and waiting and waiting for the cops to get him, and then they were like, "Well, this is ridiculous. Let's just go show him where he is." Like when you're playing fetch with your dog is woke at the bone. So they were just sitting there waiting for the cops to find him. They knew where he was all along. Like maybe they knew he was committing suicide or whatever, or they communicated with burner phones or whatever the deal is. It's like the parents knew he was there and the stupid police just didn't find him, so the parents had to go give it up. Because there's no way, coincidentally, the dad would just find him if he didn't know that's where he was.
And that's
Whereas Michael Myers, yeah. And exactly, Barrett. Why did they take the car and leave him no way home? This is the thing. There was a police report made on the car. And if your car is left for 3 days, they will tow it and impound it. And you have to pay the fee.
They'll put at least a sticker
They
on
got
it
like a
or
police
something,
report
Yeah.
filed on the car, and I haven't seen the exact note they put on the car, but I found the police report. So the parents went to pick up the car to avoid the tow and impounding and all that fee. So I don't know why they would leave their son without a ride home, unless they were communicating with the burner phone to him and said, "Hey, look, we're picking up the car because we're going to get ticketed and towed."
They knew where it was, man. I feel
Michael
like
Myers and the Moog murders, yeah.
they do.
Well, they never went to look for him. I would
No.
not sleep
There was
if
no
my kid,
concern or anything.
my
they were
kid
like,
either killed his girlfriend
okay,
or thought he was
my
going to get
kid's
blamed
gone.
for it, was traumatized, whatever it is. If my kid was in those woods, I would be wanting to find my kid before he did something stupid. I wouldn't want my kid committing suicide.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want him eaten by alligators or whatever. So it's like,
Yeah.
I would be hunting for my kid day and night. Out there, yelling his name, I'll help you, I'll get a lawyer, it'll be okay, don't hurt yourself. And it's like, they did nothing. Their lawyer told them to keep quiet and not do anything. And I think in the long run, those parents are going to end up getting some kind of either lawsuit or criminal charges. Something's going to happen.
That's so weird. I mean, that's what really sparked people's interest,
exactly,
man.
Shay.
They were like, what? They did nothing at all. Not even to go look for their kid, bro.
Shanoa's talking about it in the chat. They're all fighting right now, pointing fingers at each other. And it's like, this is like totally entertaining, but with the fact that we've got what 6, 7, I lost count of how many bodies we have under this. So it's like
8.
we shouldn't be sitting there laughing about it, but it's like this is unreal. And the 2 chicks at the campground, it's like they had to be executed because if you're going to kill one girl, the other girl's going to try to run or help her new wife. So it's like
Yep.
they were shot up. I mean, they didn't give
Christine. Yeah.
Crystal and
That's Crystal. Yeah. That
Taylor,
is
yeah.
great, man. That alone
They were brutally murdered.
is. Yeah, I think it was like back of the head, dude. I believe so. But yeah, that's weird. Makes you want to take a step back, man, and look at it.
Bear says he's got to be drinking margaritas in Mexico. I think he's dead. The parents could have hit him. That's possible. But we have no proof of death on anybody. We got all these missing people, murdered people, this coincidence, that coincidence. It's like, I don't know what happened, but it's like, something's weird. Cuba extradites, I checked.
You're right. I mean, well, you think about it.
That was my first thought was Cuba, but they extradite.
Well, all the bodies that they have been finding in that area, there's no telling, if one of them is his, man. I don't know.
Well, it's possible.
This whole case stinks to heaven, Mary.
The park rangers and the police and the FBI aren't making a big deal about these other bodies, but it kind of goes back to like the Vegas mentality. They thrive and live on tourism, so they don't want to start making a big stink about we got a serial killer.
You don't want to start a fucking pot.
It's still camping season. Now it's coming to the end of it. But so they're not going to make a big stink and run off their business. But it's like, I'm sorry, this is not normal for that many people to be missing and murdered in that. Brian died somewhere else, but he was mixed up in that. And all
I wonder if he was murdered, man, or if he shot himself,
Well, Brian technically could have witnessed, say somebody else murdered Gabby.
Well,
Brian witnessed it and went on the run, and then that guy saw on the news, oh, this guy's hiding in the woods, so he went and hunted down Brian and killed him because he was a witness. And as funny as that seems, there was a guy, Josh, and a guy, Doug. Doug had a YouTube channel, and every single night they were going and filming and going in that reserve.
But
and they found
do you not think that they would have
filmed a bunch of crap? So there were people back there hunting for Brian.
But do you not think they would have like called the news channel or something or the cops and
not if they were the murderer? No, because if they were the murderer and he was a witness, they'd track him down.
But he was a wanted. I mean, he was a wanted person,
Yeah, but if I killed somebody and he was the witness, I would not hunt him down to get the reward because I'm a serial killer. I would kill him to get rid of anyone that could testify against me. See?
Okay. Yep.
The killer would know where he was because it was all over the news. So if you were the serial killer and saw him all over the news and knew he was hiding in these woods, it's like, apparently he wasn't hidden that good. The dad found him in a matter of minutes. And why the cops didn't find him, I have no idea.
That's crazy, too.
So what if the killer went and killed him? Or all these social media people that were back in the woods hunting for him, they were videoing it every night. They were watching, like this one guy, Doug, like from Northport every night. So it's like, what if there was some person back in the woods that came upon him and was going to capture him for the reward, and they got in a fight, and he accidentally, in the fight, killed Brian. So that's why Brian's dead. It's like, we're never going to know. We're never going to know.
Nope.
Yeah, Doug from Northport found another guy, and another thing is he found a shack that looked like a homeless person had been camping out, and he went in the shack in the nighttime, and then he went back in the day, and showed everybody what was in the shack, and was Brian hiding here, and here's a towel, and it doesn't look like it's that old. And I mean, this Doug guy was zoomed in on this reserve, and so is this Josh guy. So it's like, if they were able to get in there, even though it was closed to the public, because they were always, oh, we're going to get caught. And the people in the chat were like, go, go, go. Come on, we want to see it. It was like peer pressure thing. But it's like, if they were in there, how many other people were in there hunting around, snooping at night that could have come across Brian?
Good point.
And if the
Good point.
relative, I don't really know, I haven't verified it, but if he does have an uncle that's a dentist, and the only way they identified him was through dental records,
Through
and
his dental records,
they
exactly.
haven't done any DNA testing on these bones yet, so it's like that's a
That's fishy.
huge big deal.
That's
But
very.
I haven't been able to verify. This is a rumor going around social media, and I haven't dug that hard in it because I've been busy collecting people that have been murdered in that mountain all day. So I haven't like dug into the dentist rumor, but I've seen no proof of accuracy of this dentist claim. But it's like, I'm sure if you dug enough, you'd either be able to prove it or disprove it. But I did find the information on the one uncle that was owned a yacht leasing company, but that company's been like torn apart for a couple years. But he probably still owns the boats and yachts or has connections if they needed to move Brian somewhere.
Yeah.
Truth and Use talking about the proof of death. There is zero proof of death. Zero. I'm not saying no one died.
Yeah.
I think all these people died, and I think there's a serial killer loose. So I'm not sitting there saying nobody died. But
we still don't know how Brian died. I mean, I don't know. Did he kill himself? Was there a gunshot to the head?
he could have killed himself, then got eaten by alligators.
But
there's a
he could have just like overdosed or
right where his body
poisoned
was found,
himself,
there's
or
a rope hanging from the tree.
Then
but the cops didn't take it into evidence. So wouldn't they take it into evidence to see if his DNA was on the rope?
Okay, yeah, they should have.
It's still hanging in the tree. The guy went back. They're back there every day. They're like, look, the rope is still here. The cops wouldn't take
in the South, bro,
and that they found. They had to go take them to the police department. So it's like they don't want to solve this crime.
I'm sorry about that, but yeah, that's not something you leave hanging in a tree, bro. Yeah, that's this whole case is just weird, man. Nothing makes sense.
Well, that's the thing. It's like you don't even really need to dig. You just need to pay attention because this stuff's all unfolding in front of us. The lawyer and the cop and the news people are ripping to shreds the police department and the lawyer. They're like asking the tough questions and backing these people into corners. So it's like with Sandy Hook and all those other things, the reporters went along with whatever the narrative was they were pushing. And it's like they're not buying it. They're like questioning it all and asking the hard questions and going, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. And are you out of your mind? And I mean, they're like getting into it with like the lawyer and the coroner and the police. So it's like they're not going along with the media. Hi, Miss Dawn. She's back. So yeah, it's like this is the first time I've ever seen the news go after somebody in a situation like this. Usually the news is like, did you just get ice out of your ice maker?
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
I opened a Coke the other night in one of Chris's chats, and the guy's like, Kathy, was that you? Did you just open a Coke? And I'm like, how did you hear that? And it's like, I could tell that was your ice maker.
Oh, goodness.
Discerning Light says there was an interview with an ex-cop that was on the run, and he was giving info about what it's like to be on the run. And, of course, he's out of jail now and a writer plugging his books. I never heard that story before until you put that in there. So, yeah, I'm not really sure exactly what's going on here, but I know that it is enough that it's got me and a whole bunch of other people just totally enthralled. And it's almost like, you know, when you binge watch something, like you're not watching it every week and waiting for the next week to come out, you just shove the whole thing into a week or two, one episode after another. I did that with Breaking Bad, but that's
binge
how I feel
watch
about this. It's like,
yeah.
As soon as we're done with this live, I'm back over to Twitter to refresh these pages I'm following to find out if anything new happened. And every time I do, there's so much shit. And then I wake up in the morning, there's a whole bunch more shit. And it's like, you can't even hardly keep up with it. And I'm like waiting for my next episode now. It's like I already blurted out everything that happened today and yesterday and about all these new bodies. So now I want to find out, like, what's going to happen tomorrow. Late today, the parents came home from their vacation in Florida, in Orlando. So it's like, okay, the parents are home now. So now what's going to happen?
So hold on, they took a vacation?
They went there. Cassie was in Florida. The sister was they're all in Florida. She went to Orlando just on a family trip. This is before Brian was found dead. Well, then the parents, yesterday or the day before, I can't remember exactly when they left. My days are running together because this stuff is just happening so quick. But anyways, the parents went there and they were gone. Like someone had posted, they've been gone 36 hours now. The people at their house that like aren't leaving. So the parents finally came home a few hours ago this afternoon. But another thing is, I don't know, did everybody see the video of the protester and the neighbor duking it out? Does anyone remember that? Where the guy was like, you're going to prison, you're going to prison. Well, they did arrest the guy, and he did a plea deal. So he told him, okay, for a lesser charge, and they let him out of jail. But it's like I found all the documentation on that from the people that actually were in the incident, posted it on their Twitter. So, yeah, I don't know if everybody saw that video, but they aren't even protesters. They're like activists out in front of the laundry house. So one of them or two of them or whatever went up to a neighbor's door. They probably knocked on his door to see if they can interview him or whatever. And this guy came out and was screaming. I've got a clip of it on one of my videos. Screaming and yelling and get off my property, da da da. Well, the guy assaulted him. And they've got this all on video. So the girls yap, and the guy's like, you're going to prison. You're going to prison. He's like, you stay off my property. He's like, I have you on video assaulting me. And there's this big 3-minute to-do that they're catching on video, and they release online. So I put it on my channel, and then yesterday or the day before, I find out that it's like they did get the guy arrested because they had the proof on camera. Even though they knocked on his door, he came out and assaulted them in the street. So and they got him arrested. So yeah, there's just some weird stuff going on.
Weird, man. I'd have come out and shot that dude, man. That is crazy, you know?
Intriguing and terrifying at the same time. Jerome, you said it right there. Whatever's going on, it's like
built for Hollywood.
all these hikers and campers getting killed in the same place. That's some Michael Myers.
Yeah,
shit.
okay.
I mean, that's some sit around the campfire and tell ghost stories with your friends. Like, remember Blair Witch? So it's going to become who wants to go camping in Grand Teton and sit around the campfire telling scary stories about missing body and, oh, there's a bone of so-and-so, because they're not finding all of these people. They've been
chicken bones, man. Chicken bones.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Anybody on a hiking trip, you go hiking, you got your little walking stick and your dog. Your dog could, go into the weeds thinking he's catching a rabbit. Your dog could come back with bones of a hand. It's like these people are all missing and they've not found all their parts.
What is that? Hey, Kat, what is that channel? Missing 411.
I don't follow that, but I hear people leave comments about it all the time.
Yeah, it's about
Camp Chasing, Camp Crystal Lake.
It's about people going missing, in Nashville.
Jerome, you're going to prison. So you guys saw that video. Another video, because I was following their 2 Twitter channels, there's another video that actually shows the assault. The one video I've got on my channel shows the guy yelling, you're going to prison, I'm calling the cops. But there's another video.
Touch my camera through the fence.
Like 30 seconds long, but it actually shows the assault. It's like what they showed the cops to say, see what he did to me? I'm like, oh my God. You people have been on these poor neighbors. Imagine everyone on that block. You have been on their block for a month with bullhorns, yelling and screaming. And it's like these neighbors have to be about ready to pack it up and go. But there's one neighbor next door to the laundries that let the media pitch tents and stuff in their yard. If you watch these videos of the laundry house, one of their neighbors right next to them, not like the kind of tents you go camping in, but those ones you set up that have like, like if you're working at the swap meet or whatever, and they're in the neighbor's yard. And these news media people are taking shifts. So there's always people there. There is never not somebody at the laundry. And that's why they're saying to the cops, how did you lose the guy? We've been here day and night for 5 weeks, and it's like we have seen every bit of coming and going. These poor parents go to Walmart, and there's a video camera right in their face. Do you know where your son is? Did your son kill Gabby? It's like, I'm
Where
feeling
is
sorry.
he?
Like,
Where is he?
Cannot get one
Man, you
minute
better
of
back
peace.
this. That's crazy. That's what I think about every time I saw that, man. I was like, dude, come on, man.
The whole world. The whole world just watched you assault me. You're going to jail, and he did.
They're like, where is he
Prison,
at?
yeah.
I'm like, dude, bro. Back up off
He
of me.
did say prison. But David Pauldhu's Missing 411 is what that is. I don't follow that or watch that or even really know what that is, other than I've seen that mentioned.
Well, it's about a whole bunch of people, man, that go missing in parks, national parks.
Well, I gotta tell you, if you got a serial killer instinct in your body, that's the best place to go and do it, because you have people on vacation with no cell phone signal. I mean, they're intense and stuff. It's like they're sitting ducks. So if you really want to get your serial kill on, that's the place to go, the national parks. Because if you're going through the neighborhood, doing it to the girl in the Walmart parking lot and then going to the 7-Eleven and killing another one, it's like you're going to get caught. But if you're just camping in the woods and happen upon people in the dark that are just sitting by their campfire or whatever and start killing people, there's no witnesses. You're not leaving any DNA if you got a throwaway weapon. So it's like, what are they going to do? Track your boots? There's a million people in a campground hiking. There's going to be boots all over the place. And everybody's going to have the same mud prints inside their boots, even if they did find your boots and say, oh, this is the same kind of dirt and footprint we saw over there. And it's like, people are trampling all over in the forest. So yeah, it's like, that's why I think there's so many murders in these remote areas because of that. We lost Chris. Anyways, I am going to end because I think we've just for the last hour just been babbling and laughing about the same stuff. But in the next day or two, Flight Life will be doing another video. He's getting his slides ready now. So make sure you kind of have your notifications hit over there so you don't miss those. And I am going to go. I thank everybody for watching. And please give us a thumbs up. And thank you, Chris. And thank you, Truth in You. And thank you, Matt, for helping. I don't know where they all went. Oh, Miss Dawn says people are missing in Vancouver all the time these days. Yeah, there's just missing people everywhere. But anyways, okay, everybody have a good night. And I will collect up some more stuff. And in a couple days, we'll have another episode of What Happened to All the Dead People. All right, everybody have a good night.